Welcome to Marital Hate. I'm Stacy, and somewhere around here is Doug.
What's up,
Hey, baby.
honkies?
I'm so glad you're here. And my friend, some of our friends are already here. Over on Instagram is our pal Kristen. And thank you for the charcuterie board. I brought it up on screen many times. It was
featured last night. Yeah, I don't know.
We featured it the day it came in. And yeah, so we're a live interactive podcast. We do this, and Trace is here. We're going to introduce her in a minute. We're a live interactive podcast called Marital Hate. We're married, but
we don't hate each other.
Not usually. Sometimes.
It's a misnomer.
If you spend as much time together as we do, like the only time we're apart is when we're pooping. We're probably texting each other while we do it. So you drive each other a little crazy, as we do.
Oh, we do. And we do it on the podcast as well.
Yeah, we're going to drive y'all crazy. And here's the thing that's really cool is we do this every night. And well, not every night, 5 nights a week and holidays. We'll be here on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be here Sunday.
For Father's Day. But the thing that's really cool is the same people come all the time. They're friends with one another. They're a huge part of the show. The master haters. You're just a little baby hater if you don't come along.
There needs to be a master hater salute or something. Like
we'd be like, somebody want to work on that? Let us know what the master hater salute would look like. I would appreciate that. So
we'll the
thing that's really cool is if you're watching on YouTube or
Instagram or whatever, not whatever
Instagram. Jeez Louise, Douglas, not on Instagram. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment along with the show, and we'll bring your comments up on screen like we do with the master hater. So, for example, we have Trace here. Hey, I'm on time tonight.
Oh,
happy Thursday, peeps. Trace is what we refer to as the OG lesbian because she's been a lesbian since before some of you were born.
Before it was cool.
By the way, happy Pride. We are wearing our free mom hugs and free dad hugs t-shirts for the entire month. Quite frankly, they're starting to smell. But it's probably because of all the hugs we've given.
Well, it's also perhaps the fact that we have a real feel of the air. It's 81, but the real feel is what, 90 something?
90.
90.
Welcome
Craziness.
to Florida, where the air is a swamp.
So we also have.
Do we have a big night tonight?
We have a little platy here saying his greeting of greets. That's TM, I think. He owns the trademark on that. Risa. It's what do we say about Risa?
We don't get to see you very often. Oh, look at that. The Impulsive Duo is actually over on Instagram. Shout out to the Impulsive Duo. They're going to be our guest tonight. We're so fucking excited.
And Risa will hopefully join us for a little Quiplash Jackbox tomorrow night.
Oh my God, fantastic. Risa is the king.
She's great at it. And Randall is here, and he says hello.
What's up, everybody?
I always get when we say the what are they, Impulsive Duo? Is that what it is?
Yes, the Impulsive Duo.
I always all I can think about
I
can think of is the ambiguously gay duo on Saturday Night Live, and then I'm thinking about the ambiguous duo, the amorphous duo. Like I can never get it right.
So their names, it's the Impulsive Duo. Their names are Candace and Eric, and I had we both talked to them a little bit last week, but they're the nicest people. I'm so excited. So they own, actually, I think technically it's Candace's, the Unicorn Landing app, which she's actually in the process of redeveloping, and it's we're going to talk more about it, but it's a really cool app for people in the lifestyle. That's women oriented and helps women find unicorns or other women to play with their couple, or it could be your unicorn looking for a couple. So a unicorn is a single female who will play with a boy and a girl. So there's so many women that are interested in interested in women, that a lot of couples in the lifestyle are, two women and one man. And would you complain if I brought home another chick?
Depends on the chick. I mean, you've brought some friends over here that just didn't like.
Should I name names?
No, let's not name names. But they're no longer your friends. So anybody still friends with Stacy? Most of
my friends are dudes anyway.
I did want to say before you went on, that I'm like worried about offending them with my crazy sense of humor jokes. And basically what I was going to say when you were talking about the app, I'm like, well, it's like find my iPhone for pussy. But that I shouldn't have said that, and I just wanted to get it out. Well, so maybe I won't offend them later.
Only like find my iPhone. It's like find my iPhone. If for you are a nice lady who wants to find another nice lady, it's female oriented. That's the whole point. Because like there's a lot of guys that guys are just fucking. I mean, listen, I want to let them explain it because they'll explain it way better, and they are ready for us. But I'm sure there's got to be a shitload of single dudes that are just like, I want to fuck your wife. But finding like a nice lady is probably harder. And apparently dragons are like big in the lifestyle right now.
What is a dragon?
A bisexual man.
Oh, I did not know that.
More men are feeling more comfortable with their sexuality, which I'm really grateful for. It's pride, of course. That's a perfect theme.
I guess it's really they could be a centaur. Like, I'm trying to think of a mythical being that would be the associate to,
Well, a bull is like a dude who comes and fucks your wife while you watch.
No bueno. No bull.
I think I'm getting it right. They're going to correct me where we're wrong because we are vanilla.
We don't know.
Let me just tell you, I have had some experiences in my lifetime. I do like the ladies, but I don't want to deal with bitches. You're fucking crazy. Doug here. Doug is a goddamn Puritan. So we were at Costco one day, and I'm sitting in the patio area holding court, throwing a party.
Doing
as they do at
Stacey
Costco.
Does, yeah.
Isn't that what everybody else does at Costco? Sits down, and like I literally fill all the seats around me every week. You come over, Doug comes over, there's 5 people sitting there.
Oh, but I did it at the beach this weekend. It was like,
I was just worried about you. I thought it was that lady who's into you.
It was not. Yeah.
So one day I'm in the Costco of it all with and they say it's impossible to offend them. So I'm excited about that. So even Doug with his dry ass sense of humor will not offend them. But I want to warn everybody.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Going into this, Doug is like, he's like kind of virgin to this, which is good because we always like to do things like with wide eyes and expose not only ourselves but to you guys to a whole new world, so we can all kind of learn together what learn about things together with curiosity. I've been following them for quite some time, so I'm familiar with what they're doing.
I want to be respectful. Like
but like honestly, like I think they're incredibly honest and open people.
Yeah.
I think they know that you have positive intentions, and they know that everybody. This is a group. We promised them, of course. I don't even think I have to. This is a very non-judgmental group of amazing people.
It's a good bunch of.
So Platty says greets. Risa says hey. Of course we got there. Randall's there.
He's sharing
says,
it
hey,
out,
all, and he says share. Thanks, baby.
Spreading the wealth.
And Risa says I will be jacking the box tomorrow night. She says I said what I said. Girl, maybe we need to hook up with you on Unicorn Landing. Hey, listen, if I was going to bring a lady home, Risa would be definitely high on my list.
She might have some residual man baby powder on her though from her husband. Long story.
Risa's we played
Cards Against
Humanity one night. Her husband Steve ended up being the powdery man baby, and that's all I can ever call him. Yeah. So my conversation with Nolan in Costco.
Yeah.
Regarding Doug's sex life.
Right.
So my stepson is gay, and so we're having a conversation, and he's like, I'm like, I keep telling your dad he should try being gay, like that you can't say you don't like it until you've tried it. And Nolan is like, you mean he's never tried it ever? And I'm like, no, Nolan, your dad thinks that sex should only happen between 2 people that love each other. And the kid was horrified.
There should be an embroidered blanket with a hole in it between the 2 parties. Well, did you come back at him? Well, have you tried women sleeping with a woman?
No, but I can text him right now and ask him.
He's probably watching. So
yeah, well, you know what? We might just be on the wall of the dorm at UMass Dartmouth. Becky Coffin 87 is over on Instagram, and I'm getting ready at any minute to pull up Candace and Eric. So I can see that they're there.
They're the aqueous duo.
So I just wanted. Cindy's here. She says, "Hey." Risa's flattered. She's curtsies.
Oh, look at that.
She curtsies. Girl, just do me a favor. Just shave. So when I get like all stuff.
I think that's probably a checkbox on the app. Like,
no, apparently bushes are making a big comeback. But I don't really like mine is like a Cupid doll. Like it comes into this like red thing.
I know nobody needs to know about that.
Like
maybe you should get dreads down there.
Again.
Oh, can I get dreads on there?
I would have one dread. Okay. I would have one. And it would be, I have to have Zasha.
You would look acidic.
Braid some hair into the one lock that I have. And that would make for an awkward dreadlock appointment.
But, some of this, you could just add
put some colored ones down there before you know it. I look like a Rastafarian in the puss. Steve says, you guys should try Field. F-E-E-L-D. I don't know what that is.
That could be a competitive
it could be, and I gotta tell you, listen,
we can't give them any.
We're Unicorn Landing all the way. They're our friends. We will pimp them out till our last breath. I don't know if you're supposed to say pimp them out about like
I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know if they're available. They are available for rent. You can catch them on OnlyFans. And by the way, Candace is hot as fuck. Like, yeah.
What's wrong with her? You don't think Eric?
No, Eric's attractive.
I know you told me he was meh. No, she didn't say that.
She did not say that.
She did not say that. I'm just,
oh my God,
I'm just
you guys,
stirring trouble.
I'm adding Eric to the stage right now. Look at his face. He's like, what the fuck?
And did you get Cindy Bennett?
I did not get the comments. Randall says I'm making home for scratch right now. Well, we love the meat here.
Speaking of steak stew.
And, who is this true crime podcast? Now I'm interested. That's a 15-minute killing 15 minutes of true crime podcast quickie. Check them out. They've been here night after night. We love to support other creators, and we're so grateful that the Impulsive Duo is here. And Rand wants to know if I like jalapenos. It's a little too hot tonight for me as a Floridian. Thank you so much for coming, Eric and Candace.
Hi. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you guys?
Good. It's hot here too. Not as hot as you guys, but we had a hot day.
Nice. Well, welcome to this what do we call this, dumpster fire of a podcast that we have every night. But our people are great.
It's entertaining.
Yeah,
we have a good time. It's a little quiet tonight, but usually as we go on, it will fill up. Like last night, we had like over 100 people that we could see, but it's wonky. We have a small following, but they're crazy loyal. Like I can tell you all these people's social security numbers if you're looking to open some businesses,
a couple credit cards, whatever. So look at this right here.
My way. I could use some capital.
Actually, it's funny because I was thinking about your app because Steve that's here, Steven Drums is actually a programmer. So if you have tech problems, again, Steve's a great connection to have. He might even just be somebody, that you might want to have consult and look over things. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, it's all about bringing together good people. And he's a super cool guy. He was actually in the pod last week and he toured with Sonic Youth. He was a drummer.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. I used to work in UI, so I want to look at your UI and just badmouth it. As creative director
don't
in
look
me,
at
I'll
it
just
now.
badmouth
I'll badmouth it with you now. But the new UI, our new developer who's just been working, like the UI creative guy, he's done actually like it's I feel like he knows me. I feel like he's in my brain. It's like,
that's super important to have that connection there. And we have Nicole. She says, hey y'all. And of course, Steven's asking, what's the app? The app is Unicorn Landing. It's a female-centered lifestyle app where women can go on and look for couples, or couples can go on and look for single women, but it's geared for the women to speak to one another, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just pull this one comment on. Had an awesome therapist meeting this morning. We'll circle back to that.
This is going to be therapy as well. I guarantee it.
And then of course, Claudio 888 and Becky Coffin are over on Instagram as well. We can't pull the comments for the Instagrammers up on screen, but we can with the YouTubers and the Facebookers. So if you're over on Twitter, we're in TikTok jail again. If you're on Twitter, join us at Marital YouTube, www.youtube.com/@maritalhate. Tell us about the app.
Not the TikTok jail.
I know you gotta have multiple backups on TikTok. We know those games.
we were just talking about how Steven has we were talking about how Steven
has so many backup accounts on different platforms.
Yeah, so we need to do that. But the problem is, I think I'm going to end. We were like 3 minutes into the podcast, and all I said was that Steven had to harness his monster dong. He's black, and they just shut us off.
I don't know if they shut us down for the racism or for the dong. I don't know what they.
I don't know. So, how many backup accounts do you guys have on TikTok?
I mean, I have got personal backup accounts. Eric's got a couple. One, or you've got one.
I think I have one.
We have an Impulsive Duo backup. Instagram. Yeah, lots of backups. And I'm on like my 4th Unicorn Landing account.
That's craziness.
Yeah, they shut it down for solicitation like 4 times because I guess I sell sex, which I guess I don't, but I do technically.
You don't, but you do.
Doesn't everyone sell sex?
Yeah, is that what that's all social media is?
It's all everything is. Let's be serious. I mean, really, even church.
Yeah, that's all that makes money.
Are you saying the Catholic Church is? Well, yeah. Never mind. I'm just gonna sit over here and not bring up. I'm not trying to get us off the other platforms.
We're always in trouble. As a matter of fact, my new favorite thing to do is take Christian hashtags and apply them to our podcast. So like
marital hate. Like they think it's like some sort of therapy, like couples therapy or something.
Dude, people never know what to expect with our podcast, but Christianity is listen, we respect all religions, but I was raised Catholic, and I hate judgmental people, so I have a tendency to go hard after Christians and the Catholics, even though I respect them and I support their right to their values, and I have a lot of friends that are Christian and Catholic, but I just after so many years at Catholic school, you gotta be a slut, and you gotta hate the Catholic Church. And I'm married for I don't know how many, almost 11 years,
12
almost together 12. We're gonna be married 11. And
we don't know.
And so if I'm not gonna be a slut, I gotta just mock the Catholics.
I just, when you're talking about the name marital hate, I didn't even realize that there's probably like some sort of group that hates gay marriage that like come to this thinking that we're gonna be like on their team, and we
hashtag up the gays. We love those motherfuckers. Yeah. We do have a couple of
motherfuckers.
we do. Oh, you can't even with the things that come out of our mouths. Steven says, "Oh, that app. I looked it up. That is why I said field, because it's unicornish." Yeah, I'm not. This is the only app that matters.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, all the apps in your phone, just delete all of them. I understand that the Unicorn Landing app, as it currently is a little clunky. That's why it's being developed.
It's gotten better over the past couple of years. We've relaunched it last September, and it's definitely better, and it works, but it's not my vision, what I, originally had envisioned. And so right now we've got a whole new development team building from the ground up. It's going to have a lot more features. It's 10,000 times better. It's going to have club lists and events, and women can leave reviews for clubs. It's going to have a blog section, which is going to be a lot of women-based lifestyle businesses, all sorts of different things.
That's
so there's
awesome.
Coming.
Let me catch up on the comments real quick, and then I want you to tell us all about the app. And so we have connection isn't good tonight. I'm not sure if it's me or y'all. Is anyone else having connection issues? Go in your phone and shut off the Wi-Fi.
I did. Already
Good job. So Cindy, if you could shoot for a refresh, and if I have to, let me know if it continues, and I'll just shut my computer off completely. We'll just use one. And Risa says #save. So you've already got a new download. And Tracy said we would all be here without sex in some way, shape, or form. She raises a valid point. So tell me about the app. I actually downloaded it like an hour. I had gone to download it like a week ago, and I was like, oh, I don't know that I want everyone in Cape Coral to think we're swingers, because everybody already thinks we're swingers. But then today I was like, who the fuck cares? But what I noticed is it seems that there's some security measures in place to keep people safe. And I love that about it. So can you tell me about it start to finish?
So I saw we saw you, Eric was just checking it, and he gave you a free membership. So you're good.
Oh, yay. That's nice.
You can look around. So Unicorn Landing is a lifestyle app for people in the ethically non-monogamous lifestyle. It's for women to connect with other women. So when I first kind of got in the lifestyle, I had got on apps. There's lots of other apps out there, and I'm still on other apps. I'm not like trying to compete, we use all the other apps as well. But I was just bombarded by a lot of men, and I'm bisexual. And so I wanted to talk to the wives, or I wanted to talk to women, or find a place where, and I found out that a lot of unicorns don't feel comfortable on apps because they're bombarded by men all the time, single men constantly, or very aggressive couples. And so I just kept saying, like, where can I just talk to women? Just talk to the women. And the idea kind of just came about. Yeah. It just like evolved, the idea. And it was kind of just started out almost as a Facebook group. And then, of course, I was like, how can I capitalize on this?
Yeah.
Great idea. And so the dating app came about because that's the easiest way for, obviously, to find people in your area.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of slowly, it started as a website. We found some really cheap developers overseas, and we didn't know what it was going to do. So we didn't want to invest a ton of money into it. Yeah. And it just kind of took off from there.
I'm so excited for you guys.
I got to say, it's such a great idea, but it's a ridiculously good idea if it's done right.
Yes. Yeah. No, and so that's the thing. So I spent the last couple of years, everybody, and not that I think to be cocky about the idea, but everyone, the idea behind it is amazing.
Pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back. You deserve it. Don't ever dim your light.
It's not at that point where the product, everyone's been very understanding, and the issues we've had with the app and doing it very cheaply. But it's at that point now where it's been around. We're celebrating our 2nd birthday this summer. Yay. And I want now the product. I want to offer the product that I envisioned, and the company deserves that product, and the consumers do, and all of that. So we have been dumping our heart and soul and every penny that we have into rebuilding this to my dream. I mean, what I had envisioned years ago, and I mean, even more than I think I envisioned. I think just because it's grown and I've seen the need and where the needs lie, and the, all the feedback from people and what people are looking for. And
well, don't you think that, like, if you have a vision for your life, like, and for me, I try to be vague in my mission, right? Like, because when I don't want to be super focused on like what something has to look like, because then I close my mind to possibilities. And so by having an open mind and listening to your customers, you're developing something really special. And like I said, one of my favorite things about it, and I really haven't even played with it because I just got on it, was that you have that screening in the gate, meaning you require a photograph. It has to be of a person. You can put an emoji over your face if you want to, but y'all are like, you're concerned about safety and comfort.
Yeah. So we really respect the fact that a lot of people do need to be private in the lifestyle. So we, if you want to put an emoji over your face, just show a picture of like your feet or a body photo, that's fine. We respect all of that. But it needs to be a human. It can't be like a screenshot. It can't be just something off the internet. It can't be a meme. We need to know that it's not just a bot or just somebody catfishing. We go through every single profile that is uploaded, and we vet them. We make sure that they're people. We check emails. We have a few verification processes. The new app is going to have a much deeper verification process. You'll have to take a selfie. So we actually know you're human, not a bot. And like, you're not just some guy pretending that, like all of those things. So the new app, you'll have to take a selfie that won't be public. It'll just be on the back end, and you'll get like a little check mark verification. Some like apps do that.
Yeah.
So it'll have a much better verification process.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just to try to keep men and spam and bots, because we know that's what most apps are. It's just, and people, and then we've been accused, of, oh, you're in it for money or this or that. I mean, platforms aren't cheap to run. We keep it very, very cheap. It's only $6.99 a month. It costs us money to run. We have to pay Apple. We have to pay developers. We have to pay Google, all sorts
You're
of
not charging enough.
Well, the new app may raise it a little bit, but we wanted to keep it affordable because we do know that there are apps out there that charge $25, $30 a month. And,
oh, wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like SLS and those apps, there's $25 a month. Yeah.
$40 a month on some.
Yeah. The apps are very expensive, and they're not cheap to run. And it's also that thing that like, it's not a typical app that I'm going to get a ton of advertisement on. And so I kind of have to rely on the subscriptions. Yeah,
absolutely. We have Heather Phillips here. Heather says, hey friends. Heather, tonight we have with us the Impulsive Duo. This is Candace and Eric. They are absolutely amazing. If you've been on TikTok or Instagram or any social media in the last, 2 years, you've probably seen them. You guys have been at it.
I don't know about me. You've seen this guy.
How long have you been at this, Eric?
I started social media 2018.
Yeah. So you're out there.
Yeah,
he's all over my For You page. It's so annoying.
I've done it for a while.
He has 3 different accounts. I'm always like, you're always there.
You know what? Eric does the same thing you do. He has this like boyish quality about him where he like smiles and put his chin down and like picks it back up. It's just so sweet. I love that.
I don't think he's a shy person based on his genre here.
Eric, actually, we would just say Eric plays extrovert on the internet. He's actually an introvert. I'm the extrovert. And
you're more introverted on the internet.
I'm more introverted on the internet. We're opposite.
Yeah.
And he's a little like,
I'm really cautious.
A little awkward and quiet person. Sometimes people will ask me if he's mad, and I'm like, oh no, that's Eric. Like, Eric's never mad. We've gone out before, and people have been like, is Eric mad at you? I'm like, what? Eric's never mad at me. Like, we don't fight. Like, I was like, no, why? They're like, he just looks like he's like upset. I'm like,
I've resting bitch.
I was like,
really
he's just
Eric.
Really bad.
Well, and it's probably because and he's so I think that was at a bar.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric is sober.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you're just such a killjoy if you don't want to.
Yeah,
like, brain cells and be tired and feel
people. You're just like, after so long, you're like, oh god, this is annoying.
Oh yay, we're drinking more.
Yeah,
we're not drinkers, and so we deal with that. It's not we'll have like 4 drinks a year, but like we just don't like the way it makes us feel, and so people are always like, you don't drink, and I'm like, imagine if we were in recovery and dealing with that constantly. You guys are fucking awful. Not you, obviously.
But my thing is, what's worse than to be around the drunk people? Like, it's just so dumb.
No, when you're sober, it is worse.
It's
I'm gonna
hard
tell
after
you
a
right
while.
now.
Yeah, and I
Depends,
don't
depends
drink-
on what level of
I'll
drunk
drink
they're at.
socially. Like if we go to an event, I'll have a few, or like sometimes after dinner. I drink way less than I used to. And having a sober partner, I mean, I feel better not drinking. I'm too busy to be hungover as I'm getting older. Like I don't have time for that shit. Like
And there'd be times like she would wake up and we'd wake up after she had drank too much.
Yeah, and Eric would be like, I'm gonna go for a hike. And I'd be like, cool, I'd be jealous because he'd be like productive all day and go to the gym, and I'm just like, and it makes me really bloated, and I'm just like, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not my bag either. I had a mojito on Thanksgiving and I was out of my fucking tree by halfway through the drink. Didn't even finish my Thanksgiving. But I will let y'all know I use cannabis for medical reasons, and I took cannabis oil around 7:15. So any minute now, I'm gonna get super silly and really flirty, and and particularly obsessed with monster dongs for some reason. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm terrified of monster dongs. Big dog, like a big dick, like my husband has, is fine, but those like monster ones that look like they're gonna split you in half, like honestly, all like any.
Like even fake ones?
Nope. I would like, so listen, I didn't have vaginal deliveries. I had C-sections.
I did too.
And I still have the gasp when my husband puts his penis inside me. I go, every time.
Sorry, not sorry.
And
that's
so
the best feeling ever. The first interest.
It is. Yes.
First.
But if it gets any,
about that.
if it gets any bigger, I'm not going to want it in the pooper. And I occasionally like it in the butt. So I'm sorry. Is that too much information?
It's kind of a lot of information, but then again, they're putting themselves right out here on the display.
No, we're in the lifestyle. We've heard it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to work.
I've never heard it called the pooper though.
Well, yeah, we're trying to be family friendly.
No, I like what in that. Like I'll say
is it
that.
pooper friendly?
I used to work for Adam and Eve. I was a manager for an Adam and Eve store, and we sold, everything you could possibly think of. And there were like horse ones, like it literally was called horse, and it was shaped like a horse, and it was like this big.
No,
I'm good.
What are you doing with that?
Dude, I mean, listen, no judgment. You do you. It's just not.
And always came in and bought those things. Like there was multiple big ones. It was always we had this running joke that it was always the same type of person that came in and bought these things. It was really, really like skinny, like white boys, like wannabe gangster, like skinny white boys that like tweak. Always.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I just have
we have no idea why. We're like, of course, it was always these like scrawny little skin, and I don't know what they were doing. Oh, we don't know. We don't want to know.
I can't even tell you who I'm thinking of.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
We have. So it's so funny
because
the problem, like, if I'm talking to people, I'm like Eric. Like, it takes me a little while to warm up to people. But if I talk to people in person, I can be like a little standoffish at first, and I think everybody hates me. But when I get on the camera, I forget that I forget that there's people there, like that there's people on the other side of the camera. And I did a puppet show with my tits. That happened.
She did.
It was a whole thing.
It was pretty funny. Actually.
I just forget it. I just forget that there's people there. So you get.
And it's for the permanent record, by the way. Like if you're going to run for office, they're going to bring.
Well, that's the thing about you guys.
I've done that. I said that the other day. As I've been on TikTok for a couple years, I will make videos and I'll share experiences and talk about things. And I'm like, I am putting this on the fucking internet. Like I'm just so way too open on. I'm just like, guys, I'm gonna tell you about this story, and I start telling a story. I'm like, this is literally for the public. Like. My grandma could find this if she really wanted to. Like, Jesus Christ.
That's what happens to us. So when I meet someone and they're like, "Oh, I watch your podcast," I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Yeah. And half the time they're like, "Yeah, no, it's great." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then I have like my 75-year-old friend that I know from like a conservative activism group back home, and she watches it, and I'm like, "Please don't watch my podcast."
I know.
She's like
ours won't say anything like about the lifestyle, but every once in a while we'll have people like come up to us and they're like, "Oh my God, I've been seeing what you're doing. I see your," or people will pop up in our comments or pop up on our TikTok lives, and I'm like, "Oh God, that's my cousin." Like also people come and be like, "Oh, I've been watching what you're doing," and I'm always like nervous. And people, honestly, it has been nothing but like it's even if it's not their thing, they're like, "It's so amazing, good for you." Like people, but nothing but praise. The only bad things that I've had is I have one uncle who was like, basically like tell me the family's ashamed of me, and I was like, okay, well, you mean you are? No one else gives a shit. So I don't give a shit.
Your uncle and my family should hang out because it doesn't matter what I do; they're gonna hate me. So just rock out. You don't even have to do
my whole life.
Well, here's my thing. I think that there's so many people that don't share, like, and they're not real. That you guys are just filling that void.
Well, I mean,
honestly, he's married. My uncle's married to his ex-wife's best friend, who he had an affair with. So that's okay.
Yeah, that's what
I do.
That's not shameful.
Oh, is this your uncle hypocrisy? Is that what it's saying? Uncle hypocrisy?
What I do is bad and wrong.
Let me just get to Teresa's comment. She says alcohol is one substance that if you don't do it, people assume you have a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
I don't like beer, and people think whatever. I went to beer. I don't like beer, and I went to art school. So people automatically think.
So what he's saying is he's a dragon.
I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know. But how are those indicators of other things? I don't understand.
People always do. People, as soon as you tell people that you don't drink, they assume that you're
well, there's nothing wrong with being sober. I think it's fantastic.
I don't know how anybody does.
Eric, how long have you been sober now?
7/25/17.
Congratulations. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, coming up on 7 years.
It'll be 7 years this summer.
That's absolutely.
So now I'm going to ask the asshole question. Did you just replace drinking with another addiction, social media?
I would say social media, as long as you don't say sex addiction, because he does get asked that. No. Social media, yes.
Yeah, I did. For a while it was. I replaced it. I was trying to find something to do when you get sober and that was your life. You try to find something to fill all that time that you now have. So I found a bunch of different hobbies, and then all of a sudden I started having fun with social media, and it started off fun, and then it became an obsession.
Yeah.
For a while.
It's addictive because you get that dopamine rush when you get the likes, the shares.
Oh no, I was motherfucking Jesus Christ. I really was. Like my ego was.
He had an ego the size of the fucking moon when I met him.
When you have millions of followers on social media, you think you are more than what you really are,
and then it goes away, and then it goes away, and you have to sit and you get drama, and you get canceled, or you deal with something, and you have to look at your life and realize like what actually matters in your life and who you are outside of that platform, and it's really different now. Now we don't give a shit about any of that stuff. We are like the most normal, boring people ever. We look at social media as nothing but a job. Like that's just our job to promote our business. My job is Unicorn Landing and taking care of my children and my husband. That's the only things in my life that matter. Social media is just what I use for work.
Yeah.
For work.
Yeah.
And we don't do anything on numbers. I don't care. I'm embarrassed when people know me. For me, it's just a job. And so when you look at it like that and not ego driven, it will change your entire perspective. And when you actually love your life too.
Yeah.
I will say, for us, like we're still growing our podcast. We really didn't take it seriously, like for the first year. With my health issues, like we couldn't even do it consistently, but we did it for about a year. Then we started taking it more seriously like the last month and a half, and we're growing like 4,000% every month. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's really cool is just the community we've created, because these people are like the master haters, the people that come night after night. They've all become friends with one another in a world where a lot of people feel disconnected. So we're really proud of that. And like, I always take screenshots of stuff because you get hate mail, right? Like you get hate mail. I'm sure you've gotten hate mail over the years. And it's mine is almost always from women, which pisses me off because we should be building each other up, but that's a whole other thing. I think like I need to save like when somebody says something nice, I need to save it for when somebody says something bad, because it gets to me. Like, I'm like, why do you like
after a while, I mean, doing this for a couple of years, it starts to be, I think we talked about this the other night, but it starts to be the same hate, like the same stupid comments.
Yeah.
And it like doesn't even, you're like, wow, that's not original, buddy. I've heard that a million. Like, someone might say about your dreads, or like to the point where like, when it's the same comment over and over.
You almost appreciate good, like dark, bad comments.
Yes.
We do.
Oh my God. Our favorite one is, we use it every night on the podcast. Barbara York said that this podcast is a waste of precious time. I am signing out. We fucking love that one.
We never asked her to sign in
and
in
it
the first
gives you good
place.
content. Like sometimes I'll get really heated and I'll like delete a mean comment, and I'm like, damn it, I should have saved that because I could have done a response video.
Yes.
that in turn pays me money when I make
I'm laughing all the way to the bank at you.
Like go ahead, talk all your shit while I'm getting paid to roast you back, like while you're just a sad troll sitting at home by yourself. Like
I had a guy come at me today. Actually, I had 2 guys come at me today because of my peanut allergy. They're like, read the label. And I'm like, I literally read the label in the video and said that it may contain peanuts, which I am allergic to.
So weird. People do the weirdest stuff to be like, I have a lot of men. We've talked about this a lot. Yeah. Men are really mean to me on social media. And they
fuck them. Don't fuck them, actually. Don't fuck them.
But
well, you said men are really mean to me on social media. I said fuck them, but no, don't.
Oh yeah, actually don't fuck them.
Terrible.
No, they try to argue with me a lot. Like I'll make a post or something and I'll say something and then they'll come in and either try to argue or like say what I say, but like twist my words. And I'm like, that's not what I like. We just always laugh because Eric's like, men just love to try to like tear me down and argue with me.
You threatened them, my friend. You're a fierce, sad
I guess some sad, lonely men out there, they don't like strong women, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing, and I, coming from a person that was in multiple abusive relationships, there is nothing scarier than an insecure man. Like, like I hope you're packing, girl, because some of these people are just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I do have a comment here. I just want to pull up real quick. Steven says, Stacey, you get hate mail. Wow, you're a therapeutic and healing humorous as well. Anyway, some are drunk or haterade. You're right, Steven. And you know what? Anytime you come to our house, I would like for you to make sure you keep your big black dick harnessed and remember to use the black toothpaste that we keep special for you and me in the bathroom. Yeah, so Steven came last week. We had Steven and Tom here. And they get this. They were Tom was on tour with the Juggalos at one point, went to the gathering of the Juggalo and performed there. He was the manager of our friend Blowfly, and Steve is his friend. And we like Steve even more than we like Tom. No. I do. Tom's the fucking worst.
Are we supposed to be racist if we like a black guy better than a white guy? Oh, wait, we're not supposed to be racist.
We're doing our reparations towards Steven. That's why we buy black toothpaste and give him drugs for free.
So she's Earthy Crunchy. She has the charcoal toothpaste. And so they were staying over and she goes, here you go, Steve. Here's
he said, does anybody have any toothpaste? And I run into the bathroom and I go, I just the right one for you. It's black toothpaste.
Oh, like the thing
charcoal.
Like the container?
No, it's black toothpaste. Like it's black to
like the charcoal toothpaste.
Yeah. And then I thought I was Italian, dude. I seriously think you are Italian. And
I told you Tom was watching. Now Tom's mad at you.
Yes,
now
Tom, you are the worst.
I'm the worst?
No, not you, Tom.
No, I know. I can read the comments.
Tom is the worst. Tom, sometimes you are the best. And sometimes
he was pretty low maintenance when he came here.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Tom is like my older brother that feels the need to torture me. Like we just bicker constantly because we are like totally different. But I love him, but he's also the worst at the same time. And but I'm glad you're here, Tom. Tom had actually asked me what night you guys were on. He came specifically for you guys. I want to get back to that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hello, Tom.
And then Randall says, I'll be back in a bit. Have to do a bit of schoolwork and eat. And Stephen is, of course, saying, haha, Tom. And then what's up, Bear Rug? And he's laughing at him. So tell me, I just want to.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, please.
So it's kind of a setup question. Tell us about your journey to get to this point. I mean, I know you guys haven't been together all that long. Was it?
Yeah. How long have you been together? And how did you get into the lifestyle? Were you in the lifestyle before you met? Like, how did that progress?
All right. So
I convinced her. No.
I heard you force him because you're bi.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we get that. Most people think like the man either forced the woman, or people ask me, like, does he even want to be doing this because I'm bi? And that's kind of what led us to this journey. Is so people ask us that all the time. But no. So when we met, we're both actually in the middle of divorces when we met. And so we were both kind of in like a rough spot in life, and just I was the hot mess more than you, but we were both hot messes. And so we were just really good friends in the beginning, but I had like expressed to Eric that I was bi, and I was like, I kind of want to explore that, and I'm single now, and he's like, cool, that's hot, have like whatever.
Yeah, what guy is gonna complain about his chick wanting to bring home another?
This mattress.
Yeah, so, she had this mattress and she's gonna have lots of lesbian sex on it.
I bought this new mattress. I moved into a house, and you didn't help me move it, but I just moved it in.
Yeah, you just moved in when I met you.
But I was like, I'm gonna have so much lesbian sex on this mattress. And
yeah, girl.
Like, okay.
Cool.
I think the first time I had sex on it with you.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
how many people did you have sex with on it?
I don't know.
I will say this: our resident lesbian Tracy is probably getting all hot and bothered right now about this mattress. She's thinking about that mattress.
Our friend Tracy has actually, she and her wife have been together something like 30 years.
Oh,
they were like 14, so we call them the OG lesbies. Or the Georgia Peach Bumpers, or some other offensive term, because they're our friends. We can call them that. As a matter of fact, if we don't give you a hard time, it probably means we don't like you.
We just want you to go away.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I told Eric this, and he was like, "Cool, that's cool, whatever." And we were kind of just like dating and like, you know, hooking up, but we were also like dating other people, kind of talking to other people, kind of just, we weren't ready to like get involved because we were both going through divorces, and our divorces were final like those couple months when we met. And then, so we just kind of like went our separate ways for a little bit. I went back to my ex. We won't talk about that.
Girl, you should have called me. I would have talked you out of that.
And then when I weirdly came back to Eric, Eric's like, weird. So it didn't work out. And I was like, weird. Sorry.
Who would have saw that coming?
I love that Eric's just like in the background.
My divorce was final, and I went back to my ex for 3 months.
Okay, remember how I said that like you're intimidating to men because you're like this badass, strong, brilliant woman? I might have to roll back.
I don't know what. My therapist is like, what the fuck does he? I think honestly, he was very manipulative, narcissistic, controlling. Like Eric witnessed a lot of the very abuse and things like that.
Yeah. He was marvelous at abuse. He literally, after meeting him and having a
Eric
little
knows him very well now.
With him, I'm like, he's probably one of the scariest motherfuckers I've ever met, because he believes himself. He believes this warped world that he has created, that he is the victim of, and it is the sickest. It's literally the mentally like the sickest thing that you could ever imagine.
Yeah. So it was easier to go back than to deal with the abuse. That's why I went back.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Anyway, so finally the last time
By the way, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I've done the same thing.
Finally left that, got out of that situation, and Eric and I started hanging out more and more. Actually, we could tell you guys how we officially came together. This is a great podcast topic.
Okay, please tell us.
So anyway, so he knew I wanted to explore that. So anyways, we were apart all summer. We got kind of back together, just like hanging out, spending time together. And Eric knew, again, I wanted to explore that. And we kind of talked about like, having a threesome, like would be hot, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you our quick how we got together story. I actually, side note, I'm in the process of writing a book.
I know. I'm so excited to promote it for you.
I was just writing about this. So Eric was so that summer that we were apart, Eric was newly single too, and was like, just had moved to Idaho. He didn't know anybody here. He had like a friend, and he had met me and, a couple people, but I was
new to Idaho.
New to Idaho, and he was like, I'm going to go live it up. Fuck this. And he was a whore all summer.
Good for you.
How dare
you? Hoarded up, hooking up with fucking strangers on Tinder. And so then we started hanging out again, whatever, and, sleeping together. And it was like, it was October, beginning of October. And I got a phone call from Eric at work, and he was like, no, I got a text message because I was working, and I didn't answer. Yeah. And you were like, I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. And I was like, and we weren't officially together. We were just dating, and it was getting a little more serious, yeah. But like, we weren't officially together or anything. And he goes, I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. And I was like, what?
You're at your doctor's office.
I was going to go to the doctor that day to get an IUD. I was getting my IUD put in. Yeah. And he calls me and he's like, I have chlamydia.
It happens.
And he's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, he's like, are you mad? Like, I understand you. I was like, no, dude, I'm an adult. Like, I know what happens like when you have sex.
Isn't chlamydia just like a round of antibiotics and you're
cool? One pill, yeah. So I was going to the doctor anyway, so got my pill. But I was like, Eric, no, I'm not mad. Like, I'm an adult. I know there's risks. We weren't using protection. I know I don't know what you did this summer, and he's like, and he felt terrible. Somebody with chlamydia. And so he felt terrible. And so I was like, well, we need to have a conversation about either using protection or like if we're sleeping with other people, something like that. He's like, well, I haven't slept with anyone else in like a little while. And I was like, well, me neither. He's like, well, we could just like be exclusive. And I was like, okay. Aww. And he was like, I was like your boyfriend? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's so
cute. I guess we're dating then.
And we've been together ever since. So we got together because we had chlamydia.
Yeah. See, Eric, I would have said, well, I was at that zoo where they had koalas. Yeah. I would have totally, yeah.
Yeah, always blame on the koalas if you can. So you met in what year, and you got married in what year?
We met in
2021.
That was January 2021 when we first met. And it wasn't until October of 21 that we became like official. So it's only been, we're only going to sell, yeah.
You've been 3 years.
So 3 years, yeah.
Aw, you're newlyweds.
We are newly. So we just started kind of exploring like I don't know, like he knew I wanted to have a threesome experience. I had a few experiences in college, but we had kind of talked about it, and he'd met this one girl, and it was totally just down for like fun. And she knew that I was new to it, and she liked to play with girls. She's like, I'm down. And so we did that, and that was a fun experience.
That's awesome. Now,
and then it kind of just like escalated from there. I started hearing more and more about the lifestyle, and then we started having conversations. We'd had a lot of conversations about monogamy. Eric had not been monogamous in like a previous relationship, and I literally asked him, I was like, do you ever think you could be monogamous? And this was before we were even together, and he's like, I don't know if I could. And I was like, okay, like I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
And so we had just kind of always had conversations about it. But it's funny now, Eric, could you be monogamous?
Yeah, I could be a lot.
He could be monogamous now. And I could be with like men and stuff, but we just enjoy it, and I like women, and so he's not struggling by not being monogamous, but it's funny when you build this like healthy, happy relationship that it's like,
it's not this obsession. I think that's what a lot of people think, like with swingers.
Yes, you think it's every night.
And you're fucking everybody, and it's nonstop. And like with us, like we have to force ourselves almost to do it.
Sometimes, we're just like, oh, we should probably.
We haven't done anything in a while.
We haven't been active in the lifestyle a little while, or like you go through phases. Like we'll go through phases where we'll be like, we'll hang out with a couple people like back to back, like friends or unicorn, or then whores, or then we'll go like months without it. So anyways, it just kind of evolved, and we started our joint platform, just kind of doing silly.
We tried to do a couple account.
Yeah, doing couple accounts.
Oh, I know. Y'all are all over the internet.
Yeah, and then it just kind of grew from there, and it evolved more into swinger content. And then I got more comfortable. Like it took a little while to get comfortable sharing about that, obviously, on social media. Yeah. And sharing about like my bisexual, like being bisexual and all of that. And it has snowballed into where we are here today.
Yeah.
I will say that thank you to people like Tracy and our friend Peter and all the gays and lesbians that have made the world a more acceptable place to be gay, bi, trans, neighborhood children. Don't be neighborhood. Never mind. Forget that I'm a person, because I don't know what I'm saying. But I love that nowadays it's more acceptable to explore your sexuality and be open about it. So I like, of course, so many.
I have a gay daughter, and her generation, even everyone, all of her friends are all like gay or bi, or everyone's just so like cool about it.
Well, because people realize sexuality is a spectrum, and like you don't have to be one thing or another. I understand. It's actually really weird. I've obviously had multiple relationships. Doug and I have been together for almost 12 years now, but never before Doug did I feel like possessive of someone. And I don't feel possessive of him in like a like I need to control him kind of way, but the idea of another woman like touching him just grosses me out to no freaking end. But then the thing about another guy touching me, that grosses me out even fucking more. But if I were like gonna fool around with a girl, like I'd be totally fine with that. But then like, and if I were gonna do that, which I don't plan to, but you never know, I would want something like Unicorn Landing.
Get a little high, and
you don't know. But like I would want to go somewhere like Unicorn Landing, because I cannot flirt. Like it's seriously,
she cannot. No, she like tries to wink, but she also makes a noise when she winks. I don't know what the hell is happening.
I'm super. I'm in case y'all can't tell, I'm super fucking awkward. I just say what I'm thinking. So the problem, not that it's been a problem, but people insist that we're swingers all the time. As a matter of fact, Steven was like, they're swingers, and we're like, no, we're not.
I think it's the Florida, the flamingos, the colorful, the hair, the like. That's like
the constant talk about dicks. Me asking people to send me dick pics.
Going to art school. I went to art school.
Liberal. It's just like it's like you're cool because you're like, people think you are, but you're like, but we're not.
No, but you know what?
You actually aren't the stereotype. We
have just so many, like we have so many friends from so many different lifestyles that have had so many different experiences, and by getting to know people and hearing their stories, we've learned that like we can't judge anyone. So like we know a few couples where like one couple, the woman decided late in life that she was a lesbian. And he didn't want a divorce, so she fucks chicks. She doesn't bring him home for him because they don't have sex anymore. I don't think he's really interested in sex, but they do that. I performed. I can't say that whole story, but part of the story is I know a couple that, actually, I want your opinion on this.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay. I need your opinion as swingers. I have a few, I have questions, but this one in particular. So I know this couple, they're poly. Okay. They're both into BDSM. She's a bottom and he's a top. You following?
Mm-hmm. She's a bottom, he's a top.
Okay. So she will only bottom with other dudes.
And not with
her husband. Doesn't that seem like a mind fuck?
Yeah, but that's also, I mean, so we're not really into the BDSM. Like, we like to watch it, and sometimes it goes on at events and whatever, and we're not like really like the poly side. But there are, I think from that, I mean, the way that I take it is there are things that I am very submissive. Like, I'm a very dominant person. I have a very dominant personality. I'm very type A, very extroverted, but I am very submissive with Eric in the bedroom because I can be. It's somewhat, I can relax and I trust him, and I just like to be very submissive, and he's very dominant. But I'm very dominant with anybody else.
Yes.
So
same, exact same. Because you found that safe place.
To have we have a very different emotional sex life, all of that I have with anybody else.
Yeah. It's a different connection completely. I agree completely. We have the same. Yeah. Doug and I have the exact same thing. Let me just pull up a couple comments. When Tom told me I might be staying with you guys, I looked you up and I was almost certain you were swingers. You had pineapple hashtags and lifestyle stuff. Yeah, because we fucking love the swingers. We love our favorite.
They're trying to get everybody. They're trying to get the Christians, the gays, the swingers.
Yeah.
I want everyone, honestly, and this is what we go on a tirade about just about every night, is how I want everybody to like love each other and realize that like if you knew what somebody else's situation was, you would understand and have compassion for them, and that like, what's the fucking point of judging anybody else? I'm too fucking busy with my own shit to worry about what other people are doing. And I want to know and understand what other people do and why they do it. And Steven says, cuck. Yes, the cup hold. And he says, you described cuck holding, I think. Yeah. And then there's dudes that are there.
Not exactly, because he's not there.
Well, no, because cuck holding would be like you would be getting pounded out by the super dick or whatever it is. Yeah. And your husband would be degraded at the same time.
Oh, nice.
Guy with a super dick.
Yeah, I'm degraded nightly on this podcast, just so you know.
He's like, so I am a cunt. God damn
it. No, but I think that I don't know. I think that when you find, we actually talked about you guys after our chat, and it was funny because Doug was like, God, they seem so normal.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
And he's like, but they're like nice people, like they're normal people. It seems like they have a connection.
We do come across, we give off that like, and that's kind of how we try to portray the lifestyle is. So a lot of people will look at the lifestyles like, oh, they're just a bunch of like partying sluts, blah, 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 blah. But like the majority of the lifestyle are people that you don't know are in the lifestyle. They're mothers, teachers, nurses, professionals, lawyers, doctors. And they're your everyday average mom and dad.
Oh, girl.
So that's kind of the lifestyle. We try to portray it as not just like crazy sex. Like it's actually, and by the lifestyle, we also enjoy the events and the community and the people
are so nice
and like-minded friends. And so, we try to portray it as not just like sex and drugs.
Well, that's the thing I want people to know, right? So like the thing is, y'all aren't doing this every night of the week. You don't even necessarily do it every week or even every month for that matter. Like you'll do it a few times a year, depending. You may have a time where you do it more often. You may have a time where you do it less often. It's not your life. It is your job, but it's not your life.
Mm-hmm. We have to, and that's also been challenging. So last year was a little difficult. It became work, and I was so focused on my platform. We had some drama, like business stuff that we went through. And I just kind of withdrew from the actual lifestyle. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I was like, I got into this lifestyle because it was fun. And so keeping those two things very separate for us was very important. And so after like the new year, I was like, I really kind of want to get back into the lifestyle, but very not the lifestyle that people see like on social media. Like that's, again, a job. The social, the spicy fun that we have or the things we do are
for fun.
We don't make TikToks with them. We don't do that kind of stuff.
You're not filming OnlyFans. You're not doing all that.
Yeah, that's not swinging. We wanted the fun. So we kind of have really done a good job about keeping it separate. We have our private friends, the events we go to here, the people we hang out with.
Well, the thing
I was trying to be, I'm not very assertive. I'm actually, as extroverted as I am, I'm very awkward. I cannot seal the deal. Like I can meet you, but I could not seal the deal to fucking save my life.
Girl,
like,
you know,
never have sex.
We talked the other day. You and I have so much in common. Like, I get it. Like, we
will never have sex if I'm in charge. Like, someone either has to be aggressive towards me, or Eric has to be like, "Are we doing this?"
Well, that's okay. So I have so many questions. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is, so the unicorns, like, obviously, so people think, and people have this idea that you're going to be like, everybody in the swinging lifestyle is like hot as fuck and it's like a porno all the time. That is not true. They think you're fucking everybody under the sun all the time. That is not true. They're thinking that you're just like slutty and you want everybody to fill your holes. That is so not true. Y'all, and I think
fill my holes.
Hey, listen, if you want your holes, I like my holes filled too, girl. But like, it's not just arbitrary. Like, oh, I'm so horny, I'll fuck anybody.
No.
But
people struggle in the lifestyle. Do struggle with like sex drive and ED, and I mean, it's just normal people. So we're just in every
and trying to be attracted to people. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Like swingers are picky as fuck.
Yeah, like I'm satisfied. I have a very happy. I always say I have a very happy monogamous vanilla with my husband. Like, we go to school events and we hang out with my kids and
you're normal parents.
Yeah, but then sometimes you get to have a little bit of like extra spicy fun. Like, can you imagine if you had these fantasies? I was talking about this earlier, and you have such a solid, happy relationship, and you have these fantasies you've always wanted to do. You've always wanted to, you've seen it in videos. Like, I like women, so it's like, and you get to fill those fantasies with your best friend.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and it is, yeah, again, it's like, you don't do it that often. It just, and then you get almost, it's not like you do it, you play, and you kind of like get your fill almost like,
yeah, no,
that bucket, and then fills that bucket, and you're like, I'm good for a little while.
That's funny. I was just going to ask it, like, because when you're talking about like teachers and whatever, I was like wondering, do you think that people are so like unfulfilled in their like normal, boring lives
that they have
to go to that?
No, absolutely. I think there's two different aspects. I think there's people like Eric and I are a little different because we kind of fell into this lifestyle very early on in our relationship. It's definitely changed and evolved over the past several years.
Of course.
But then there's also those couples who have realistically been together 25 years. And I mean, let's be honest, when you're married for a long time, life can get a little bit mundane, and your kids, and the majority of swingers are in their like late 30s, 40s, 50s, because your kids, all of a sudden you have free time. Your kids are older.
Yep.
They're either out of the house or off, doing things. And you're all of a sudden like,
what do we do?
Yeah. And it's always like the stories we hear all the time are people that like kind of accidentally fell into it. They heard about it. You would be so surprised how many people are swingers.
I'm actually not surprised at all, because we live in Florida. Let's face it, they're everywhere. And I will tell you,
that's why people think you're swingers, because you're
that doesn't hurt. So of course, when there was a while there where I was single, and I was constantly getting hit on by couples and other soccer moms. And it's always the people you least expect it from that are the ones that are going to hit on you. But I like, for me, like, okay, it's a compliment. And I've made out with like plenty of girls. And it's so funny too, because as my girls got older, my daughters are our kids are all adults now, but as my girls got older, one of my daughters like talked about, she was exploring dating girls at one point or whatever. And I said, oh, I've been with women. And she's like, you've kissed girls, Mom? I'm like, well, I've done more than that. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like naming the names of other soccer moms that they know. Like, and like, obviously they weren't like people that they saw every day, but like, oh yeah, like Mrs. So-and-so and Mrs. So-and-so have both like, felt me up. And they're like, well, so my thing about, I was always like pretty open with my kids about sex, because I figured that if I was open with them about sex, it would creep them the fuck out and they weren't being already. And it worked out. Like, none of my kids.
Or they'd be open in return and they feel like they could ask you things, and it would be a safe place.
Yeah. And but the biggest question we have, so like, I like, tell me, so because you guys are, what happens in your community? Like, do you have people that are like, oh, it's the swingers? Or do you have like people like in, like, I'm not talking about online, but in your regular life, go to the grocery store?
No, that's a good question, because people ask us this all the time, and they're very worried about being public. So I'm very, very involved in my kids' school. I substitute teach because I was bored. I get bored during the winter, and I just needed like something to get out of the house.
Girl, come hang out with me in Florida.
What?
Come hang out with me in Florida.
I know. Cold here in the winter. I go crazy. Trust me. As soon as my kids graduate, I'll be gone in the winter. But anyway, so then I'm very involved. My daughter's in marching band. I'm very involved. I'm one of like the band moms. I help with every single thing. I'm very involved in my kids' school, very involved in things. I have normal social media pages that I run, and nobody knows what I do, because if you are not a swinger or you are not in this lifestyle, you don't look for this shit online. Like we don't fall in your algorithm. We don't, nothing. And I've had a few, like I did have one of the moms see one of my posts, because every once in a while I'll sneak in something about Unicorn Landing, or there'll be like a logo. And one of the moms did say something, and she was like, I looked up your app after I saw you like post something. She's like, that's fucking rad. And like, that's all she said.
Wow.
Like I wear a pineapple ring, and like I've had a couple people be like, oh, nice ring. I'm like, thanks. But if they do, no one has ever. We always joke, our neighbor, we have like an old lady that lives next door, and sometimes she just like isn't super friendly. She used to be really friendly, but we don't think she likes us anymore. And Eric's like, it's because she found out we're swingers.
Dude, we do our dirty pot. We are dying to know, because we do this outside every night. Like if it gets super hot, we're in the pool, but we do this outside every night. We live in a neighborhood where like our lots aren't even a quarter acre, so their houses are like, and people are constantly walking around the neighborhood
with their dogs. They slow up when
and
they
we're
come by.
like, do people like what do people
like,
what do the neighbors think? Like what are they? And it's funny because like the neighborhood kids all come. We're like the nice old white people on the corner that give all the kids snacks. So all the neighborhood kids come for snacks. And we had to tell them, like, listen, you can't come from like 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock because we do our podcast.
You gotta plug your ears if you walk
and
by.
and I'm like, it's not for kids. We talk about like taxes and investment. It's really boring. And then I'm like, one of the kids, he's like, my mom wants to know the name of your podcast. What is it? And I wrote it down, and he leaves, and Doug's like,
and I'm like, what are you doing?
That kid just wants the name of the podcast. But sure enough, the mom really did ask. The mom came and watched the podcast. She's like, no, he told me it's only for adults. It's not for kids. I'm like, yeah, but we don't know what people in the neighborhood must think. And but I also,
also don't care. Like,
no, I don't. And
I'm fortunate enough that I own my own business now, and the jobs that I have had, it wasn't an issue. The jobs that Eric had, it wasn't an issue. All of when I was the last full-time, I worked in hospitality management for years. I oversaw like guest services for large shopping centers. I had big girl jobs at one point, and then I did a lot of retail management. The last job I had, I was a manager for Adam and Eve, like I had said, for a little while, and all of my employees only one of my employees was straight. They were all either bi, gay, lesbian, something, and like 6 of them were in the lifestyle. Like I would have to be like, if you see me out at an event, you don't see me. We've been fortunate enough that it's never like been a issue. My ex-husband's ex-girlfriend, who's psycho, did try to get me fired from being a substitute teacher for doing OnlyFans, but I contacted the school board or the school like HR, and I explained the situation. I said, this girl's just like angry at him because he broke up with her. She's trying to get back at me, and they dropped the whole thing.
That's awesome. And schools are getting a lot more I think tolerant. I think companies are getting more tolerant. But it's interesting because like for us, like Doug is usually kind of tiptoes around stuff because he still works with like major corporations. But I say whatever the fuck I want because I've been sick for 10 years. I haven't worked that entire time, and if I did work, it wouldn't be for like a big corporate outfit. Like I have to be myself. I can't really do anything. If I were capable of like, I can dial it back for about 10 minutes at a time, and then the fucking freakiness comes out. What I wanted to ask you is what is your type, and are you the one who like is Eric, like this is a question for Eric. What's your type, and do you pick the person and Eric's just like, yeah, that's cool, or like is Eric like, nah?
Yeah, who didn't make the cut? That kind of thing. That's
so will I answer that?
You can answer it.
I feel like I've been doing all the talking.
I know you've been
okay.
Right, you're dominant.
Women never shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So I do most of our connections. Yes, I do. We don't really communicate with like the opposite sex. It's kind of like a boundary. Like if a girl reaches out to Eric, we either get into a group chat or he's like, you got to talk to my wife.
Yeah.
Like versa, whatever.
Yeah, he couldn't pass me off to you fast enough. He was like, talk to my wife.
Well, especially anything business-wise, he's like, I don't fucking know. My wife deals with that. I just tell Eric where to be and what to do, and he's like, okay. Mm-hmm. I even manage his like other social media, like all of his like brand deals and stuff. I'm like, okay, this person is sending you this product. You need to make this video. He's like, okay, whatever, makes the money. So 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 I do most of connecting with women. Like I've got like a big Snapchat with a lot of women. Like I only accept women on there, and people will reach out to us. I have a roster. Shut up. And so I just kind of make it known I do a lot of the connecting. So yes, I do a lot of the connecting, making connections. But if I feel like it's something that may go further than just like chatting, whatever, if it's someone who's like, oh, I live in Boise and like, you guys are so cool, I'm a unicorn. If I feel like it's something that might turn sexual, I either obviously share it with him or we get into a group chat pretty quickly. Eric, I mean, we have kind of the same taste. Eric knows that if I think she's attractive and I want to play with her, I mean, Eric's not going to. It'd be very rare that Eric would be like, ew, no.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's be honest. Like,
I don't know.
We do have very different. Eric has.
We have very different tastes. This is why she makes the connections, because I've been bringing home fucking train wrecks. I would be bringing home girls with ankle monitors, fucking having to breathe into their car to make sure they could drive over.
Well,
my wife would look at her and be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And that's where we kind of made this thing when we first started. I was like, it becomes a game to me. Like I always had fun picking up on women and stuff like that. And it was like,
he's very schmoozy. He's a salesman and he's very charming in a non-dirty sort of way. And girls are just like, that's how he goes.
Yeah, he has that boyish quality. Yeah, but Doug doesn't even realize that he's like flirting with women or that women are interested. He has no clue because he's just Doug. And yeah,
like that waitress was hitting on him. No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was. I'm like, honey, she had your dick in her mouth for free. How do you not notice?
I'm sorry, that
didn't happen. Like schmoozy, like he can get people. Like sounds like Eric can get people in bed. Like I'm just like you're
gross.
Yeah, I'm not like you in bed. Like who he was when we were first like hanging out and like and I'm just like. You're awful. I was at this house one time and this girl.
It was Valentine's Day.
It was Valentine's Day. And we weren't even, we had met in January and it was Valentine's Day. It just happened to be the day we could hang out. Like I didn't have my kids. And he was like, oh yeah, come over. We ended up like going around town. I took you up to the lake to show him because he was new to Boise. And all of a sudden I'm downstairs on the phone with my son at his house. And I just hear this like pounding on the door. And this girl's like, motherfucker, I know you're in there. And I'm just like, she's like, I know you have another girl in there. And I was just like, holy shit. I was like, Eric. And then how old was that girl, Eric? Like 22?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, I'm out, man. I'm not dealing with this drama. And Eric's like, no, I'm getting rid of her.
That's so funny.
You stayed the night.
Okay, so tell me what your type is. Like if you you're like this is my dream girl.
So I've actually kind of changed. I used to be really into kind of like nerdy girls, like even girls that like wore glasses, like that whole nerdy vibe.
Yeah.
But lately
what?
It's been like the girls that I'm just like, they're typically like shorter, like 5, like Chelsea.
Like a little spinner.
Yeah, they're shorter, like 5'3", 4, 5, like just shorter than me. I'm 5'11". I don't know if you guys
Jesus. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
He's
6'4". So we're very big people.
You guys do not look that tall on camera.
But you know why? Because we're both tall. If I was short, you would think he looked tall. But because I am so abnormally
tall. He looks short.
Yes. He looks short.
Yes.
We are big people. Like our couch right now, look at these legs.
Girl, get it.
Our couch right now that we sit on in our office, we're in our office right now that we film our podcast and stuff on, is actually like on stilts. We had to raise it up because it was so low to the ground.
Like that.
Yeah, they're on blocks about this high so that we can actually sit on
this couch. Don't mind our picture
couch.
of ourselves.
I love your picture.
So I like girl. I mean, I don't know, for some reason it's just been, and like short blonde hair, like cute, like soccer mommy short blonde hair.
Are you digging like chicks that are kind of androgynous and like more masculine?
No, I like that. No,
so because that's my question. That was my question. Would be if I like in my mind, so Ruby Rose is trending today on Twitter. Of course, we always use the
I think she's hot, like so hot, like yes. But she is like abnormally so hot. Like she's a league of her own.
I would not want to have sex with her. I would feel so like I'd be like, why are
you? Yes, I would feel so. I would be like, oh my god, don't look at me. Don't look at that stretch mark.
honest to God, and like I got sick right after we got married, but like I was like 5 foot, like 5-inch heels, like tight little mini dress, 100 pounds skinnier than I am now, tits and ass, like tits on a stick, and and Doug is too hot for me. Like I feel like we go out in public and like everybody's like looking at him. I can never be with somebody that hot. But I'm interested in the gay community, particularly there's a subset of lesbians that are out there. They're very masculine and they're like in a lot of ways thirst traps in that they're like hot as fuck. And I'm like, God, like I find these women to be attractive. I also like squishy women like me, but I find these women to be attractive. But I don't think as a man I would want one of those women with my wife.
No, I'm not attracted to. Not attracted to girls that are basically like built like boys, like like that bot. Like, yeah. I like women. Like I like soft. I like curves.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm attracted to women. I'm attracted to a little more feminine. I don't think. But most bi women that I have met are attracted to more feminine, like. Look,
I think so.
Stuff like that, because we're also attracted to men.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, obviously there's very attractive people out there. But I haven't really met too many girls in the lifestyle that are like unicorns or anything that look like that. They're typically very girly. And most of the unicorns I do know are like dating mostly men. They're not. Yeah. Really dating women. They're kind of just like
they have their own thing.
They have their own life outside of you. They're not they're not a plaything. If you want to play,
like we have unicorn friends that we went to the concert with one the other night. We've never played with her. We've hung out multiple times. I've become good friends with her. I met her on Unicorn Landing and she's just a good friend of ours now, and we talk about she's dating and different things and
girlfriends.
And so but they usually date guys because
and maybe
friend zones the unicorns.
Let's say that's not. You got to do what works for you.
I don't like people to feel like I'm using them, and I think because my social media platform has gotten bigger, because I own Unicorn Landing, I don't like women to feel like I'm just like, ooh, another toy, another object. So I'm very against objectifying women and just them thinking that's all I want from them or anything like that. So I just friend zone them.
Listen, that you got to do what works for you and your pattern. Let me just pull up some comments, and I have a few more questions. Steven says, I was talking about Stacey describing your BDSM complaint, top bottom couple with the girl bottoms with others, not you, Doug. Haha. I don't know that much, thank God. And he's laughing. They're separate. So their situation is a little bit different than what Eric and Candace are doing. They're poly. It's just not my thing, but I think it's a mind fuck. But whatever people choose to do with it.
A lot. If they think we could do the poly thing, just because people are like, oh, would you go poly? Would you get into a relationship? And we said if we did, it would ever have to happen very organically. Like,
yeah, of course.
A girl here who was just like always here, and we're like, oh,
yeah,
we just are dating now.
Dude, I can see
that. I don't have the mental capacity, and my kids are still younger. Like, I'm still very I just don't think I can barely not that he's a lot to handle, but like maintaining my own life and my kids, house, and my husband. And being a swinger, I don't have time for that shit.
Well, the thing though, like for me, like looking at some of these poly couples, it's great that there's less of a stigmatism surrounding it. But now, and I think about things like, wow, like if you're a poly couple and you have like a childcare issue or financial issues, I'm like, I can see the there's some benefits to it.
Well, I know there's a couple that we follow on the ones in Oregon. There's 4 of them, and then our friends we know Camp Thruple pretty well, and they're big on social media. They live in Colorado, and they are the 3 of them, and we're always I'm like, a third person living here would be really nice,
right? Somebody like you could do the laundry, like one person, or like if you just had one person that maintained the house and 2 people that could bring in income, or like.
Yeah,
like you could there's that we joked about it on the podcast a lot, which of course makes people think that we're swingers. Tracy, our OG lesbian Tracy says Ruby Rose is such a girl crush of mine. How can she not be?
I do not think she's hot.
I don't think there's anyone in the world who doesn't think Ruby Rose is hot, but there's apparently another Ruby Rose that's like a ruby with an I rose, and she's like a rapper because she's the one that's trending, not the Ruby Rose that we all want to fuck. And Steven says, when are you starting the band Lesbian Subset? Doug's too busy with his music. I don't, do you guys play any instruments? You're going to start a band called Lesbian Subset? Your question.
My daughter is very musical and she's gay. We could tell her to start.
Oh, there you go. We'll tell her to do it. Well, Steven's a great drummer.
Yeah.
So Doug has like had very little exposure. He hasn't even seen because he doesn't even do TikTok. He watches Reels. So I have to explain to him that everybody's seen that 6 months ago. You're so cute.
We upload our TikToks to our Reels.
Yeah, well, we do too. But like a lot of stuff that's showing up on Reels now, we've all seen, right? Like 6 months ago or whatever. So can you explain to me, like, so say you've met someone, you're talking to someone and you're like, okay, like this is someone that's a match. Like, do you meet up? But like, let's pretend that you're talking to a girl, you've been talking for like a while and you like her, you want to get to know her. What would be like, how would it progress from there?
Yeah, typically just through texting, talking quite a bit and just be like, and I would just, my thing is I always get a little bit like uncomfortable or like awkward, but I'm like, if this girl is still continues to talk to me, she knows what I do. She knows I'm in the lifestyle. Obviously she's interested.
Yeah.
So typically just dinner or drinks. I mean, we'll just be like, hey, do you want to grab dinner? Do you want to go?
Yeah. Like a date.
Yeah. Like we'll just take them out. Especially, I mean, same thing with a couple. Like we'll just be like, hey, like even last or 2 weekends ago, or we're like, hey, the Greek Festival is going on. Do you guys want to meet us there? And they're like, yeah, sure.
That's awesome.
Go out like friends. And then we wander around downtown and we'll get some drinks or go to dinner. We have a really nice downtown area here in Boise and we'll do that or go do something. We have some other like lifestyle friends.
And it's really like any other date. Like,
it's like dating kind of, but you're not dating. Yeah. And it can get exhausting maintaining the relationships and keeping it up and reaching out to people and putting in the effort. It can definitely get exhausting and there's burnout for sure.
I was going to say, does it get awkward if you like kind of, you have something going on with somebody?
They actually had a post today because they've been like, well, I've been commenting more and more on their stuff, but they have to ghost people sometimes. Like they just like, and could you tell us maybe a story about ghosting someone?
So we always try, like, there's a difference between ghosting and letting the conversation fade.
Yeah,
so like I will never just flat out ignore somebody unless they do something like horrible to me. But you know how you just get when you're texting with somebody and like you just get busy or somebody asks you to do something, you can be like, oh, I'm busy this weekend. And you just kind of let the conversation die and fade away. And usually get the hint.
Oh, so I need to make a disclaimer right now for everybody watching this that knows me. If I let a conversation fade away, I'm not phasing you out. I just have ADD. I will never remember.
So do we. We both have ADD. We spend so much time on our phones for work. Like we don't have time to maintain all these,
And that's what's hard.
We can't do pen pals. And that's a big thing you'll hear in the lifestyle. Yeah. Sorry.
No, well, that's the hardest thing is like we both have ADHD and stuff, and it's you just if it's not if the talk isn't progressing somewhere of hey let's do something this weekend or whatever, just to talk to you every other day is not going to happen.
And especially with what we do, people constantly want to be like our pen pals. Like people that don't live here will text us or snap us like constantly.
Time for that shit.
Group chats, and they'll want to chat and they'll want to ask us questions, and we will a little bit, but like it can't be a I don't have time for that. I don't have time to maintain, like it gets really exhausting. So, but if it's somebody here, we'll go out to dinner. And then usually we'll go out to dinner once or twice. Like it typically doesn't happen like the first night you hang out with somebody. Or there are people that you've hung out with before. Like we've had a couple that we've played with a few times and we played with them like twice that one summer. And then we almost didn't see them for almost a year.
Oh, wow.
And they live, not super close and they just had some stuff going on and she ended up having like knee surgery and all this. And then we just randomly, they're like, we miss you guys. We should hang out. And we went to dinner and then we all fucked.
It just worked out. So tell me something. So like, okay, say you've met someone you like, and so you guys do not just girls, but you do couple swaps as well?
What? Couples.
You do couples.
Yeah, so we're couples that we're a little more picky about.
Of course.
I'm not just gonna sleep with men just because I feel like I need to sleep with men. It's not
Neither
like
do I.
Nothing wrong with that.
So Eric, you're only into chicks.
Yes, I'm straight.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
He has no problem being in a room and like just, like same room play and like, but there's no like touch interaction. Like you might rub an arm.
You might be next to each other and your arms are against each other's or whatever.
You go high five, bro.
Yeah. But other than that, that's the extent.
So you have a no sword fight rule. Basically.
No sword fight.
Okay, so tell me this. So if you decide you're going to play with someone, do you bring them to your house? Do you go to their house? Do you get a hotel room?
Eric.
Wait, what did he say?
He said chloroform. He's going to get us kicked off social.
You're gonna get
right there,
canceled,
Cosby.
motherfucker. Okay,
no, but it's all shut down.
Where do you go? Do you have a van down by the river?
So it really will depend. So we have kids. I do not welcome people into my home. I have to know you for quite a while before I would allow that. Hung out with you several times, know you really well.
Yeah.
We have before, like this one couple, the last time we'd hung out with them several times. We've known them for a couple years.
We know them well.
My daughter was not here. My son was with his dad. My daughter, I don't remember where she was. Probably to friends or something. We just happened to have the house empty. But like my daughter's pretty much with me lives here full time.
Yeah.
But teenager, so she'll go to her friend's house. She'll whatever. So very rarely will we let that happen. Also, our bedroom is just our safe space, and so it's kind of nice. But if we will, but typically, like if we kind of planned it, like we have another couple we hang out with sometimes, and they've got younger kids, and we just split a hotel.
There you go.
It's kind of nice because then you go out to dinner, you get drinks, you walk to the hotel downtown, and then you split ways at the end of the evening.
Perfect.
Don't have to
don't have to. So Doug's question for like the last year.
It's like, who does the laundry?
That's all he wants to know is who does the
laundry. There's
laundry.
There's a wet spot. I don't know what the hell happens.
So if you do it at a hotel, housekeeping deals with it.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, no. And you're not worried about.
You don't do anything disrespectful, anything more that you would like if you're. That's the thing. Like it's not any more than like monogamous sex in a hotel. You know what I mean? I mean, for people, but we're not trashing the place or leaving it. It's not. We're not like crazy sex toys and.
Well, that's the thing for us. So like we like and not like we're just gross people, but we're
not gross people.
We'll fuck on our bed like every day for a week, and there will be like debris, and then we'll wash our sheets on like a Friday. But if I had like people over, I would wash the sheets before and I would wash the sheets after. Like I feel
I would invest in a black light.
I feel like I would be so stressed. Like I feel like first I have this is why we're not swingers. I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
It's too stressful.
It's too stressful because first of all I have to shave my legs and my puss, and most of the hair is see-through, but when you get up there it's gonna give you like a rash. Okay, so I gotta shave. And I gotta
that's a bad choice.
I gotta wash, which sometimes I do. Sometimes I just go in the goddamn ocean and swim with dolphins. Then I gotta have a relatively clean house if anybody's coming over, because let's face it, we don't have any kids. We can fuck in the pool right now if we want to. And then there's the cleaning up afterwards, and then there's the awkward flirting part, which clearly I cannot do. And Doug doesn't think that anybody's interested in him.
You're making this sound really difficult. I don't like it anymore. I'm just kidding. This is all very true.
No, I think you're so brave, and I think you're so brave to tell your story. And I love like I really I'm gonna tear up a little bit, but like I'm so like proud of what you're doing on social media. Both of you. I'm really proud of what you're doing because you're so open. And I think when you're open with people about your story, whatever that story may be, that it makes people feel better about themselves and their story, and like they feel like accepted in a world that can seem really judgmental. And I just think that like I realize that this is going to sound like a strange thing to say, but I really believe you guys are making the world a better place. And like I know
the number one compliment that I hear when I hear people say, watching a video of yours helped me realize that it was okay to be bi, or not weird that I felt this way, or just like little things like that. And I'm like, that's what I'm doing. That's what started this whole thing. Was that it
wasn't out of like perversion or any of that. It was like, I mean, I've always done social media, and I even started doing solo swinger content because it was a way for me to cheer my wife on with Unicorn Landing. And I'm like, well, shit, this is a platform for women only. So what can I do? And I was like, well, I'll at least share even from a guy's perspective, and I can hoorah my wife throughout this. And that's what it was about, is like, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, he's better at the social media aspect of it. That's his thing.
He really does do a great job. I follow all your channels.
Do this to support you, and because I go through phases where I like it. I'm not that great at it, but I just do it because I don't know.
I think the thing that struck me the most is when you were talking about the beginning of your relationship, and you're like, all right, Eric, do you want to be monogamous? And the honesty there was like, well, not really. Because you asked 100% of the guys, you're going to get.
They're going to lie to your fucking face.
They're probably going to lie to you, and then they're going to be miserable in 6 months or whatever.
Well, and it's actually
but that's just what's so funny now is Eric feels like he was like, this is the first relationships I've ever been in that I feel like I can and would want to be monogamous. Like I'm not seeking any other validation. And I don't know if it's just because we're just so open and comfortable and our life is just so content and we're, you know, like it's like when you finally find that, well, I guess you didn't cheat on your ex-wife that passed, but
really, I'm so sorry about that. She passed after your divorce.
No, he lost.
So my wife,
Eric, let's well, go ahead, Eric. You tell
if you don't want to talk about it, that's totally cool.
No,
my wife at that time, that was my third wife.
Eric's,
I've been married 5 times.
I'm 5.
She committed suicide in 2015, August 27th, and then 2 years after that, in August 13th of 2017, my dad committed suicide. Okay. And so, like with her, I didn't cheat on my wife. I cheated on a lot of my wives.
But you were you were with that. You were with her for how long were you with Brandy?
I was with her for 4 years, and we ended up separating.
They were separated,
and we were going to get a divorce because we were both raging addicts.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was an addict.
We were very toxically codependent. Like if she wanted alcohol, I'm going to get her alcohol. You know what I mean? And I'm going to now drink, and we're just going to keep using. So the only way to really get sober, I knew, because we both would have killed ourselves, was to separate and hopefully get sober.
Well, she needed psychological help.
Oh yeah, she needed help, and never unfortunately got it. And,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. And so it was one of those that, like, even when I met my wife now,
my wife now.
Candace. Her name is Candace.
This one. I met this one. Who knows? We'll be number
one.
Yeah, like life is a lot different with her than it has ever been with anyone else. With just the amount of contentment, and I've done a lot of therapy.
Finally, yes.
And a lot of healing, and to understand it's okay to be content. And I mean, I think that is one of the misconceptions, and I think that's what kind of spurred me to want to share even on the lifestyles. I think a lot of guys get into this lifestyle thinking that it's just a way to cheat.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, we get people all the time that will hit us up, and the dumb one is it's usually for content, which we don't even count that as swinging, for like OnlyFans, and it'll be like, oh yeah, and I'll be like, oh yeah, did your wife know about this? Are you married? Oh well, you know, I'm in a sexless marriage, and I'm just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Get out of your marriage. Actually, you were in a sexless marriage, and you didn't cheat.
Well, no, I didn't cheat, but when you were talking, I was just thinking about that. Like, well, the thing for me, anyways, and in this marriage for me is number 2. Like I think the overwhelming feeling of support, right, is different. Like it's a different wavelength, and not to say that everything else was terrible, but I would say that like, that's one of those things that like propels me to be a better person, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you like coming home, I mean, the wife that I had, the marriage I was going through, divorce when I met Candace.
So he got married after she took her life. He got remarried again later to a girl he worked with who was younger, and they were just partying all the time, but she ended up getting melanoma. And so he married her for health insurance.
Yeah, I had really good health insurance.
She's fine. Melanoma went away. But then they were married, and then he got sober, and then the marriage was bad when he got sober. He got sober.
Even when I was using it was bad.
I'm sure.
But it was one of those that, like, there's a huge age gap and stuff even. And I'm looking like, why the fuck did I even do this and stuff? And I think a big difference is like even with Candace, like I look at her and I don't hate her, and I know what it's like to be at night.
Nice.
At night, I fucking hate you. Why am I here? Type deal, you know. Yeah. Like, the worst part is you're thinking this, but then you're still there. You're like, what's wrong with me?
You wanted to leave multiple times.
Yeah, I tried to.
We are so far up each other's fucking ass. Like, it's gross. Like, we spend every minute together. We're like, do you want to play cribbage? Do you want to, like, we're texting. We're pooping.
I'm like, I want to wear your skin. Like, I want to wear it.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's so weird because we're best friends, but we are totally different. We vote in opposite directions. I love the country. I'm listening to like 90s hip hop. Doug's like an old punk guy. He likes Sam Cooke. He doesn't like going to the country. He'll go to the country, but he'll be like, this street is creepy. There's going to be men with banjos coming out at any minute. We're so different, but it just works for us. Yeah. And
oh, absolutely. And when you find somebody who my biggest thing was like, when you find someone who you can just be like yourself.
Yeah.
Like, no, I never from the second day I met Eric, I never had thought, like, never was trying to impress him, never hid anything from him, never. It was just comfortable for me to want. It was easy. It's always been easy. Eric's not easy sometimes. He has ADHD, and Eric is actually like level 1s. He's on the spectrum. He has level 1 autism, and sometimes he is
a lot.
Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, you're just like annoying sometimes.
Dude, I'm annoying all the time.
Everybody's got a spectrum
like,
side to them, and it makes you great. So
I just want to read a couple of these comments. I've got I meant you, Stacey, because you mentioned it, and Tracy said, I feel like those that are transparent help those that want to learn, and I'm always curious to know how others like to live, because I feel it helps me to be more understanding, and I think about things differently. Absolutely. And Matt said he finally made it, but I have no sound. Trying book face.
And now he's got sound.
He says he's got sound, and then of course Tracy corrected her typo. Yeah. So I don't know. I like, one of my favorite things about what we're doing tonight is you guys are so much like us. And like, of course, everybody knows that we're fucking nuts, but like relatively normal-ish. I don't know. You guys are just like a normal couple.
Members of society.
Yeah, but you guys are just like a normal couple. I have to ask this because I've never been to Idaho, and I know we talked about this, but I want people to know.
You need to Google photos of where, like, I'll send you some photos of where we live. You'll be
it's a city. It's like Boise's like no joke. So
Boise is,
Boise, yeah, in the Treasure Valley. So in the Treasure Valley proper, there's like, I don't know, ask Google. It's pretty decent size, but Boise itself, I mean, we live in Boise. We could be downtown in 10 minutes. So we live very close to downtown. We live right on the Boise River.
So you've moved in other places.
So much to do here. We went to an EDM festival, and then we went and saw Third Eye Blind and Yellow Card the other night, and then we're going to a concert tomorrow night, and then there's another concert on Saturday night.
900,000.
There's 900 in the Treasure Valley.
Yeah.
900,000.
The whole valley.
Oh, wow. Fuck that. I want to be in the country. I want to be where they're growing the potatoes.
Valley is like Boise, Meridian, Eagle, Star. It's like up the valley at the base of the mountain. So if you look like up to the mountains, like this way, you can see like Bogus Base, like the snow hills, all of that, like during the winter.
And
so we're in like the valley. So Boise itself is like 400 something, and it's big. Boise's like vast. It's like very
black. So it's just like another, like any other city, like Boulder, Colorado, or like Boston, Massachusetts. It's just like any other city. So it's not, in fact, nothing but fields of potatoes everywhere.
No. We actually don't. We do have potatoes. We're actually, wasn't it proven that we're actually not the number one potato growing?
I think Maine's the number one.
Maine was up for
we're
once,
not the number one growing, and we actually don't even. People always joke like, oh, you guys have the best fries and stuff. And it's always, I mean, they're fries. They're made from potatoes. But all of our good potatoes are sent out. So Simplot is here. So that's where you'll get a lot of your produce and potatoes and things like that from. It's a company called Simplot. And like he owns like the majority of the property like in this like state.
Everything.
He has over the years. Like his big factories and stuff are here. So there's a lot of that. But a lot of our good potatoes are actually sent out.
That's so weird. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure Maine is the number one potato grower, but like if you're selling lobsters and you're selling potatoes, lobsters are a little bit more profitable. But we're so spoiled because we lived in an oceanfront community in Massachusetts, and like our backyard was the ocean, and literally our backyard. And so we always had fresh lobsters. So like now that we live in Florida, we won't go anywhere near lobster. We're like, ew, it's so old.
Looks like it's from a pet store.
We have some good sushi places and stuff like that. Like you can get seafood here, like restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all flash frozen and
flown. Yeah. It's just you get used to stuff, but there's definitely like there's stuff down here that we love. There's stuff back home that we love. With me being sick, and of course for so many years beforehand, being a mom with young kids and broke as fuck, I didn't really get to explore things. So we love to meet like new people and like find out about their experiences and their lives.
Get a van, get on the road, and take your podcast on the road. Go meet people, do live podcasts.
Dude, that's the dream right there.
That is the dream.
That's the dream.
That's like what we plan on doing once my daughter goes off to college, and then I have a son that I share custody with. So we're going to be traveling a lot more once she's off at college.
Yeah.
To go meet people, film podcasts,
promote
the app, host events at clubs, and just
Oh, tell me about
the world. We want to travel the world too, but we're going to do a lot of US like promotion and.
That's awesome. And you guys have a big trip coming up.
Yes, we are leaving a month from yesterday, I guess. Yeah. We're headed to Europe for 3 weeks.
Now, will you play while you're in Europe? Are you lining up anybody while you're in Europe?
So we're maybe, I forgot we're going to meet up with. We may meet there's another big content creator that lives there in London, outside of London. We may have lunch with them. I don't know. I mean, we're going to have my daughter with us. That's definitely not even the focus of this trip. And I like to play sometimes when we travel, but we're trying to see a lot in, and so
you want to get your money's worth.
Yeah. And I just don't want it to have to be a focus.
Well, we know from watching Naked and Attraction.
Oh yeah, a lot of foreskin over there.
A lot of foreskin.
Brace yourself. They got all the foreskin. Hey, listen, nothing wrong with having foreskin. I just am grateful that you don't have any.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. We may pop into like a lifestyle club just so we almost like to sometimes we go places just to like stop at a club or do something almost so we can like do a podcast about it and it gives us
exactly.
It's content like honest to God.
And then we also joke we're gonna have my daughter with us and she'll be 17, which is like an adult over there, and she's gay, and so we're like gonna take her to the red light district in Amsterdam. And she's like, oh God, we're like strip clubs, we're like, well, there's even some brothels. She's like,
But
you'll love it.
I think that I love that she it seems like your kids so your daughter knows what you do, obviously. She's 17, she's not missing a trick. And your son who is younger, does he have any idea?
No, he has no idea. He knows I own an app, but like again, he's an 11-year-old boy and he's just off in his own world playing video games.
He has no interest.
Yeah, we don't film stuff like this. Like I wouldn't have done this if I knew my son was here.
Oh, of course.
Like things like that. Like we're careful what we film around. I mean, he knows we make TikToks and do all that, but he doesn't see any of it. He knows I own an app, and we just like say it's a what do we even say? It's a women empowerment app, and like
it is.
Well, it kind of is. Yeah.
You're not lying.
He doesn't ask questions. He's like, hey, he knows I like unicorn stuff. He draws me pictures of unicorns. So my husband and I have talked about when the time comes and he starts asking those questions, having mature conversations about him,
of course,
about all of that. And like my daughter doesn't give two shits what I do. She's like, whatever, you guys are adults. Like she's super like little liberal hippie. She doesn't care. But her friends even are like, oh, it's cool. Your mom's open about her sexuality. Like, honestly, like nobody, and you just have we don't talk about like, yes, my daughter knows what we do and she knows about unicorn landing, but I don't come home and be like, we hooked up with this couple. Like, you don't
I think there's a difference between being like, I think it's important for kids to know that sex is an important part of a healthy relationship. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's like, an age appropriate conversation, and your daughter is now old enough that she's exploring things. And I like, for me, when my girls got to be older, I was like, here's a vibrator, like figure it out for yourself, because a boy does not know what the fuck he's doing. You need to know so you can tell him what to do until he's old enough to figure it out for himself. Yeah. And some of them never figure it out.
Boys have to be taught.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know. I think Eric knew from the womb. It sounds like he's pulling in chicks left and right.
Oh, look at him! He's so shy. I love it.
Eric was a nerdy little Eagle Scout. He was an Eagle Scout like through the end of high school.
Wait, does that mean he can like fix things and like solve problems? That's hot.
He can start fires.
I can build a fire.
Nice.
Oh, we're going camping. And Eric and I have never been. We travel obviously a ton. We go to cabins. We've done like tons of things, but we have never actually gone camping, like tent camping.
Why would you do that? No, so
not together. We've done it without each other. We've never done it together.
We've been researching RVs for so long, and for a while I was like, let's get a Tiffin Class A. We'll pull our Jeep with it. Blah blah blah. We actually met the Roaming Royals. They're amazing, and they're on the road. They live full time on the road. They're nudists. They were on our podcast one night. Art and Michelle, super nice people. You would love them. And they have the exact setup we want. They have a leisure travel, which is a
24 and a half foot.
It's a wide body Mercedes Sprinter van with one slide, and it's got a king size bed. So it's like,
that's what we want.
And it's a full, listen to this. It's a full bathroom, like a full like sink, shower, toilet in a 24-foot van. It's a Murphy bed, and it pulls down over your sofa. And so we love the one that we like is the Leisure Travel MBL, and you can tow a 2-door Jeep with it. They have their setup when you guys are ready to buy, or like anytime, I'll introduce you to them. They have done everything exactly the way I want to do it and save me the work of the research. So they're all set up for, so they have like 700 watts of solar, like 4,000, I forget how many hours. It's like 4 lithium ion batteries, a 3,000 watt cosine inverter, a separate toilet, which means that the poop goes in a bag and the rest just goes in your gray water.
Not pooping in a bag.
You don't have to poop in a bag. No, it goes like in the toilet, like once a month. You take the bag and you throw it out. Like, it's super easy. They spent their winter on the beach in Mexico. They just did a cruise up in Alaska. They hate Florida.
Yeah, we're always gonna have a home base here. I mean, I do have a son, and he's still young.
Yeah, you gotta
have a home base.
But if you
I
have
still have 6 years, but so we'll always have a little home base. We are gonna downsize and just have like a little condo or something here.
Yeah.
And then just be on the road a lot, and we'll bring him, when we can. We really love up here in the summers and all of that. It's just like the winters.
That's us. Like, we would love to summer.
I don't know. Eric probably never told you what Eric's old job was when you were talking about all that. What Eric's real adult job was for 20 years. Eric managed RV dealerships.
Oh no, he knows everything about RVs.
He probably knows that 90% of them are crap.
Eric hates RVs.
I hate RVs.
That's
really?
a riot.
Oh, that is so funny. Well, so Doug's never even been in an RV, like, other than when we've gone to look at them. Like, he's never camped in one. I'm like, we need to live in one full time.
I like my stuff. I like,
I don't need
it full time. I want a little, like, the Sprinter vans. I want, like, something that you can, like, drive and travel. There's a ton of those up here. People spend times at the mountains. Like, we have some of the most beautiful mountain towns up here in Idaho. Beautiful lakes, the Sawtooths. Like, if you want to, like, look at some things, look up, like, Redfish Lake, the Sawtooth Mountains. You'll be like,
I want to see it all. I want to see it all. I want to see absolutely everything.
So that's why we want one of those. But I still would want a home base with my stuff and my
And Doug wants a home base, and I would be okay with that. But in Art Michelle, they do it full time. But like, everybody just has to find what works for them. I think that the nice thing about the Sprinters is they get better gas mileage. Of course, they're perfect for 2 people, and you can, if you want to tow your vehicle, you can tow your vehicle. But I like it for, like, honestly, for us, day trips, because we live in Florida and we're from Massachusetts. You can drive from one end of the state to the other in 2 hours. Forget it, you're in Maine already. But here in Florida, my best friend and I moved down at the same time, and I didn't even say goodbye to her because I was like, "Oh, I'm going to see you all the time. You live in Florida." They live on the other side of the state. They're 6 hours away. Yeah. Like, I see her 3 times a year if I'm lucky. Yeah. Actually, we need to get together.
Well, and that's how we feel. Like, we go down to Vegas quite a bit. We go over to Portland. We go to Seattle. Like, we're all, like, close to, 8 hours or so, or 10 hours from us. So, like, if we had a Sprinter van, it saves you money on hotels. I mean, you're paying for gas and stuff, but you have, somewhere to stay.
Sure.
You have your shit with you, and also, if you're like me and you can't poop in other people's bathroom, it's a big selling point. I'm sorry, it's a big selling point.
Road tripping, we've just thought about it, but we also want to travel the world now that we're going to Europe and stuff. We have a lot of things like
you got the bug.
Yeah, we want to go to Greece. There's a lot of places we want to go, so we'll see where we end up. And the state of the U.S. isn't exactly ideal. Yeah.
No, like, that's like a running theme on this podcast, is that we need to start a hippie commune, and then I'm going to be a cult leader.
We could all head to, like, Australia or something.
Oh, no, there's too many things that'll eat you in Australia.
We live in Florida. It's the same fucking thing.
No. Australia will hold our beer.
I've been researching Perth, Australia, and definitely doesn't look like a bad place to live.
They have jellyfish that will kill you.
I'm Portuguese, and I could be jellyfish that will kill you.
Well, you're killing me slowly with with all your energy.
Gonna hit him over the head with a brick. It's a yoga brick.
It's a yoga brick, but still.
By the way, if you're trying to arrange cameras, yoga brick. Best thing ever, because you can make things as tall as you want to. I'm gonna, like, seriously stock up on yoga bricks. They're the best thing ever. I wanted to just ask you to we're getting late, and we'll fucking talk to you guys all night long because you're just delightful, and I'm sure you have other things you want to do with your life. But tell me what the lifestyle.
Sorry, you're hungry. You hungry?
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Well, order a pizza on us. What is a lifestyle club like? Like, if I Doug and I were gonna, like, go buck wild and go to a lifestyle club one night. Is there one in Florida that we would go to?
Yes. Like, the top one in the state is in the country.
Secrets is a good one that's in Florida, or if you're by Tampa, Florida, you can go to Eyes Wide Shut. Secrets is in, like, Kissimmee. There's also
There's so many in Florida.
Yeah, there's another one that's in Land
Caliente.
Lakes. Caliente's in Land Lakes.
There's that like treehouse one, the rooftop.
Yeah, there's one in Miami. So there's a lot on the East Coast. There's a lot of lifestyle clubs, and I will say it is the coolest thing, and it will ruin you from any other club or bar out there.
Really?
You'll never go to one, yeah. Because clubs and bars and stuff that you go to that are non-swinger, there's always people that are shit-faced, people drinking too much, puking, people just like you don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? It's loud, just
especially as being older. Like you're not like that, like drunk.
Oh, fuck that.
And
you
drunk guys touching you
and trying to pick up and flirt with you or whatever. You go to a lifestyle club and like literally everybody is like super friendly. No one's trying to get into your pants. Everyone's really respectful for the most part, and they know what boundaries are. They're really clean. There's a lot of staff there. They're really big on like consent and all of this. So you go to a lifestyle club to begin with, and you usually don't get in right away. There's like a little area, and they'll let you know, hey, this is what it costs, and they're not cheap to get into.
No, they're not cheap.
The lifestyle is not cheap.
So tell me what an average costs, like $100 to get through the door?
$150.
Yeah, and it's going to cost you membership fees and like, at least $100, depending on the club. And it's going to be so different across the country, depending on where you're at.
That'll get you in. They'll do a tour, and they'll let you know what all the rules are and everything, because there's play areas and stuff.
There's rules you can't play, or places you can, places you can't, rules for dance floor.
Rooms for voyeurs, rooms for
places
clubs, that kind of thing.
Like single, if there are single men, some clubs don't allow single men, but some of them only allow a certain amount, and like single men aren't allowed anywhere. Like even Eric at certain clubs can't go anywhere unless I'm with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has to be physically with me. Like one time he walked out of this one place and we were all back in the back, and Eric was like, they like wouldn't let him back in. He's like, I swear my wife's
They locked him in a room. I got a couple comments here.
So they're really friendly, and I mean, you might see somebody topless on the dance floor or something, but that's kind of
you'll see some boobies, and you'll see some naked. I mean, depending on where you're at, like the club that we go to in Whispers in Las Vegas, it's like an old house that was turned into like a club. That's pretty much what all of them are in Vegas. And like, it's a big pool. There's like a pool party. So people are just naked. Yeah. And sometimes you'll just be telling you look over and you'll be like, oh, that guy's getting a blowjob. That's
nice. That wouldn't shock me.
They're one of the most chill environments ever.
Yeah, there's usually a DJ and a bar. A lot of them are BYOB. There are a lot of strict laws. It really depends on the county. Like not even the state.
Especially down here in Florida. Massachusetts, the whole state, like we have universal laws. In Florida, you walk 5 minutes down the street, you're in a different county, and there's a whole other set of laws. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to
you guys are near Secrets, which is one of the biggest like club resorts and like lifestyle clubs in the US. And it's got like hotels and stuff at it that you can stay at, or you can just go for the night.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's always like theme nights. They kind of just gets people like dressed up and mingling, like just so you know what to wear. There's like
that would stress me out. Dude, I getting dressed stresses me. I don't usually wear clothes. Like I have been doing this thing lately.
I don't naked too. I mean, you have to wear clothes to the door.
Yeah, I also don't want to do that. I've been wearing lately. All I do is I wake up in the morning and I have these sheer sarongs that I wear. We live in Florida, right? So I have all these sheer sarongs that we wear to the beach, and I've literally been wearing them as dresses every day and like not wearing clothes for like a month now, like a crazy person. I just want to ask our crowd because it's definitely getting late, and I know you guys need to eat. Does anybody have any questions before Candace and Eric go and eat something and maybe even each other? I got a few comments here. Randall is back. And of course, Cindy's back. She went to get ice cream with the fam. Tom Bear Rug says, I've been to Perth. It's insanely isolated. And he says, if you need, and he did, he just got back from Greece. He says, if you need Greek tips, I just spent 19 days there. So he just spent 19 days in Greece. And Tom's incredibly well-traveled. So yeah, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to him because he's a sweetheart, even though he drives me crazy sometimes. What I wanted to ask, so the clubs, do you have a question?
I had a couple of questions. Yeah, one, I want to know if your app, like if you're in a restaurant, boop, 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 thing goes off and you're like within 10 feet of a unicorn. See, I think you got to add that, and it flashes the other person's phone and embarrasses them.
Where you can like track. I mean, you can change the distance, and you can get it all the way down to 1 mile. So you can 1 mile of you. I mean, it's not like a normal dating app where like millions of people are on, So I mean, it's not.
But I think it's better.
5,000 users across the U.S. And so, there's a chunk of people in my city, but if I put it down to 1 mile,
Yeah, you're not gonna have.
I think I did it to 5 miles the other day, and there was like 1 or 2 people right in our
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that it's paid just because I think that inherently by having it be a paid app, you filter out a fair amount of
Thank you.
Free in this lifestyle is not the way to go.
No, and people are always like, "Where can I get free apps? Where can I get free apps?" I'm like, do you know what free brings? It brings bots. It brings spam. It brings thirsty men. It brings picture collectors. It brings people who just want like hookups. Like,
dude, it's the same thing is true with
regular dating.
Regular dating apps the same way. Like,
I knew people that wouldn't date guys that didn't pay for
membership. No, if you're serious about it and you're actively seeking, you're going to pay the money. And I've had people. I mean, like I said, we might up the price a little bit with the new app up to $9.99, but I've had people like get upset about the $6.99 or be like, well, I can't afford that every month. And I'm like, if you can't afford that, that's fine, but you should be focusing on something else. The lifestyle is expensive. You're going out to dinner. You're taking people out to dinner. You might have to get hotels. You might have to travel to clubs. You're buying new outfits. You have to pay entrance fees for events. Like, you can do the lifestyle free and cheap, but like that, then you're just finding random hookups on like FetLife or Facebook and bringing them to your house.
Yeah, and or like, what are you gonna just like look around the grocery store? Like, where's their pineapple? How is it positioned?
Yeah. I
buying
always look at the pineapples in the grocery store and wait to see one upside down, and I haven't yet.
All right, so that was one of my other questions. Well, we used to live in a town, and we found out that
oh my god, this is so funny.
There were numbered streets like 10th Street, 11th, you know, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So, and we heard that's where all the lifestyle people were.
No, in our town, like seriously, we knew like 6 people that were swingers on that one neighborhood, and all the neighbors were fucking each other. It was crazy.
So here's the thing, like, if we're looking for a house and we ended up buying on that street, and like
dude, you know, everybody.
How do we like? Are there any secret cues? I know we know the symbols. We know the pineapple. Like
and the flamingos. By the way.
Is there anything? Are there any other secret handshakes that we need to know about? Any? If you're on a number street, do we need to know about?
Most people don't stand out as a swinger.
Yeah, and I don't want people in my neighborhood to know I'm a swinger. I don't want some that's the other thing too, is like, I don't want someone knocking at my door. Like, I don't want people are like, when they go to hotel takeovers, which is like swingers, you know, like 500 swingers will take over a hotel for the weekend, and there's like events and parties all weekend.
Yeah.
And people will like decorate their doors or put their names on them and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't want people coming to my fucking door, know where I'm at. What if it's somebody you don't want to hook up with and you're like, oh no, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so unbelievably picky and like, yeah.
See,
so no, I don't want any secrets. Although, look at our house. Look at all the unicorns.
It's everywhere.
Pineapples everywhere. But that's in our house.
But it's not like you have a sign on your front lawn.
No.
Steven says
there is a sign that if you wear a black ring on your left hand, apparently it means you're a swinger. But we don't see that too often.
Nobody really pays attention to this.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No. They're.
I suppose if you're at a swingers event, right, that's probably a good indication.
Yeah, that's a good place to find people.
Probably with swingers.
Yeah. I gotta tell you though, if I were going to throw a swinger event, I would like make sure it was like in the same hotel as a religious event. Like, I would fucking just fuck with those people just because I'm an asshole.
Oh, I'm sure they're down.
I don't like when people are judgmental. That's like a pet peeve of mine. Like, if you're like nice to people, if you love and accept everyone, we're going to be best friends. But if you're judgmental, I'm going to fuck with you. Just to fuck with you.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Now it's a party.
Are you okay?
Our ring light's falling apart.
Right. So Steven says, I have a question for them. Are you on Android, iOS, and desktop normal web access? Also, are you on Xamarin, mobile, Angular, React? Sorry if too technical a question. I don't know what any of that fucking means.
So we are on Android, iOS, and we have a desktop version. The new app is being built in React Native. The old app is a piece of jumbled fun mess, which is written. I don't remember what they're both written in because they're different codes. The 2 codes are different, but the new one is being written, in React.
Nice.
Do you think that, and of course now I'm jumping back over to the sex thing, so I just want to ask this question and see if Doug has any questions, and we're going to let you guys go and enjoy your evening. For somebody who hasn't done this before, but that is interested in the lifestyle or interested in having like there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I want to do this for my husband for our anniversary or my birthday.
Father's Day is Sunday.
Father's Day is Sunday. What do you think about the idea of going to like one of the many brothels in Vegas where it's legal sex work, where the women are frequently tested, and many have had experiences where they do couples?
So we actually even talked about that. Like, I think our first trip to Vegas, before we were like super head up, like we were dipping our toes in, talking to him, making some content, but very like new. We hadn't even really gone to any clubs because there wasn't one. Now there's an event center in Boise, but there wasn't a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we had talked about it, and I was like, well, that could be fun because you can like go online and like pick, and I was like, that would be kind of fun. I've always had this like weird fascination of like to go to a brothel. Like I just have always been very fascinated by it. Not
I
like,
want to go just to hang out.
Yeah, not necessarily like a sexual way. I'm just
like, I don't want to have sex with them, but I want to hang out.
Live, like you said.
Yeah.
So I was very fascinated by it, but we kind of looked into it, and it was going to be like $3,000.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
So we were like, no, we're good.
Bueno.
Not for nothing, but for $3,000, I'll sleep with you.
I know. I was like, I am in the. So I used to have a neighbor when I lived in Orange County, and he would go to Las Vegas 1 week a month,
just
and
to make
like
money.
work, and then
they make
like, fucking genius. I took the wrong career path in life.
Yeah, I've done that so many times myself.
I had a friend of mine go to one of those brothels, and so when they came back to the hotel, because it was a bachelor party, and when they came back, I'm like, so what the hell happened? And they told me about it. I'm like, well, was there an ATM machine? Yeah. And then they're like, this girl was better than that girl, and this girl was named Janet or whatever. And they gave me so much information that I felt like I knew too much.
Hang on. One of the guys went down on the girl. Like, I didn't think that you'd want to go down on a prostitute, but like they do. Like people know. Apparently, it's like a common thing. Like people will.
Yeah, I guess
you're kind of clean.
Yeah, I guess if you're tested, I mean, they're obviously
before,
and they're the cleanest. I mean, they're obviously. If they're,
I'd probably go down on somebody at a legal brothel. I'd go down a girl at a legal brothel before some random at a bar.
Yeah, because they know that they're like being tested, especially like a very nice brothel that's like very beautiful. I mean, I guess
and that's all fresh down there, so
fresh.
They get waxed, they're tested.
Probably showered before.
Well, it's their fucking career. It's their career. Like, they have to
honestly,
make.
they're probably very. Very nice.
And they'll probably call you sugar.
They'll want them to if you tip them enough. Like, and I would to be very clear.
All right,
I would do that too. What I'm looking for, if Doug and I are gonna
what you're looking for.
We're gonna open up our lifestyle. I'm looking for some sort of FinDom situation where I dominate someone financially and they give me money and nothing else in return. That's what I'm looking for. Although I have
when you find that, send them my way.
Yeah, right.
I need a sugar mama. We want a sugar mama,
right?
That's what we're talking about.
Y'all come to Florida. I'm sure we could find you one. Yeah,
yeah.
There's plenty of them. And like the old people are horny as fuck. As you, I'm sure you've heard the Villages, which is in the Orlando area.
Eric's mom lives in the Villages.
Is she horny as fuck?
Because they're like rampant with the swinging is rampant.
She's not a swinger. She's like kind of religious, but we didn't see any.
Well, the STD, they're having a problem with STDs. Like,
yeah. Oh no, we've heard.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So
my mom likes to go drink and party and dance on the square. We love the Villages. It's so fun.
Nice.
I'm afraid to go to the Village. See, I'm afraid to.
It's fun.
It's actually
go
fun.
To one of the squares one night with the live music and drink and dance with the old people. Oh my god,
it's fun.
Oh no, dude. So there's a bar in town called the Monkey Bar, and we took our son because he just turned 21.
So we went there.
Oh my god, we go to the Monkey Bar, and it's like octogenarian Hispanics doing salsa.
Oh my god, they're having so much fun.
They're tearing the fucking floor up. Yeah. Like they're having more fun than I will ever have in my life. And like Southwest Florida has got like massive Hispanic population. So just about everybody there was Spanish, and they were so nice. And they were like, come out, we'll teach you how to salsa. Just the nicest people, but they're all like super old, and you're watching them and they're just fucking tearing the place up.
No, and that's how that was in the Villages. I was like, dude, I'm tired. Like,
these people are twice as old as I am. And yeah, they're running circles around me.
I don't know if you guys saw the little promo we did for this appearance of you guys on the podcast.
But I had to put it on our thing.
And then so I found a little clip art of a pineapple, a unicorn, two kids on a swing.
I saw the swing, yeah.
And then it's scrunchies. And I couldn't believe that Canva had scrunchies. So apparently somebody at the Canva situation over there, they're down with the scrunchie.
Some people might use scrunchies for their hair.
Oh, that's true too.
The last time I wore a scrunchie was to pull my hair back for a blowjob. So I mean, there's scrunchies are inherently sexual.
Oh, you do.
Sometime
they're good for your hair.
That was back in 1994 when I was saving myself for marriage by
her husband she bought she would meet in 20 years.
My father told me, he gave me valuable sex advice that I'm going to share with you. He told me to give my boyfriend a hand job so I wouldn't get a hand job or a blow job so I wouldn't get pregnant.
That's the sex
so
talk.
That was my dad's sex talk. And then what was the but he neglected the
like, I know you're going to do something. You might as well be safe.
Seriously. And but that was back before like the poop hole loophole was like an obvious thing. So I've done a PSA for Father's Day so that everyone knows that if you don't want to get pregnant, you can blow job or hand job or their anal. These are your 3 options if you would like to save yourself for marriage. And if you want to give a blowjob, a scrunchie does come in handy. So we're giving tips to the new generations.
Yeah, well, yeah. Having a gay daughter, I was like, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, hallelujah.
Yeah, I had one that was gay for like we knew it was a phase with her because she was always so boy crazy, but she was like, she dated a girl.
Never been remotely.
Yeah, there was no question, right? So my son, like my stepson or Doug's son, we had never any question that he was gay. But my daughter was like, she came home, she's like, Mom, I'm bi. I'm like, okay, you're 12, like you can be bi, that's fine, but you're really not like you shouldn't be sexual with a partner yet, and you still have to clean your room. Next day she came home, she told us she was pansexual. We had to Google it, and I was like, okay, you can be pansexual, but you are 12, so do it by yourself and go clean your room. We just didn't care. And I think that I just think that what you're doing is fantastic, and being so loving and accepting of the world around you, and being open with your feelings and your experiences, especially and of course the lifestyle stuff it's fun, right? It's fun to talk about that. And of course it's your business, but to be as vulnerable as you've been, especially Eric, to talk about your addiction and your and you're losing your dad and your former partner. Thank you so much for being so open, and thank you so much for making a safe place for women to feel like they can explore their sexuality. And I don't know, they inspire. It's just, I think y'all are making the world a better place, and you inspire.
Thank you. And that was just the intention behind it, is just to share our story. And and so we've dealt with some hate, and I've dealt with some nasty people, and I'm just like, I don't feel like I've done anything to warrant.
Girl, you have my number. You have my number. Anytime you have a nasty person message you or you're freaking out, you just text me. I will give you a Stacey pep talk. Let me tell you,
you don't even know.
Luckily, it hasn't been bad lately. We dealt with some stuff last year, but it's kind of all pushed under the rug. And I think we actually had like some legal stuff we had to go through.
I remember you telling me, yeah.
No, it got pushed. I think a lot of people are kind of like, oh, we're not going to get involved with them. I was like, I don't fuck around. You don't fuck with my business. You don't fuck with my family.
No.
You know what you should do? This is what we've been doing lately is, and it's making me extra sassy. We've been watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta from the beginning. And I have been channeling a sassy Black woman. Although these women are like some next level.
Oh, they take it.
Fucking flipping the fuck out. And they're way hotter than I'll ever be. And they like things more than I do, but like I'm definitely taking a lesson in the like don't fuck with me. That Candy Burris in the don't fuck with my money. She's a badass bitch. And the funny thing is, we just watched like season, I think it's 6 or 7, where it came out that she's bi, that she's been with women, and I love that it was like out on the forefront. Not only because it was on the forefront, because she's bi and making that more comfortable for the world, but particularly because she's Black, because within the Black community, there's been more of a stigma, more of a stigma toward the lifestyle. So I love that they're doing that. And I just have one last question I wanted to ask you. I've been hearing some rumblings that there is a lack of inclusivity. And by the way, I think that this is bullshit, but I want to hear your thought on it. That there's a lack of inclusivity within the swinging community for people within the gay world. What are your thoughts on that? I believe it's directed toward maybe gay and trans men that are experiencing
the gay community is big into the lifestyle. We've met
of course
gay couples of men and women. It depends on what side, I think, of the spectrum they're on, because there is that victim mentality too.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on that, we've been to clubs and we've seen trans people at the clubs, and everybody's accepted unless you want to be that person and poor me and everyone hates me type.
And you need to be I think we've always tell people you need to be very open and honest about your, if you are trans, things like that. I mean, we haven't dealt with any of it personally directly. There is there is a little bit of a backlash. I know that even like our club here has dealt with it, that people like in the LGBTQ or trans or anything is we try very hard not to make it look like Unicorn Landing or the lifestyle is sexualizing it. I'm not trying to sexualize by women, sexualize that, and so there has been a little pushback. I haven't dealt with it really, but I know that our local community here has dealt with some of the trans population and some pushback, but our local club actually started doing like rainbow rave nights for the LGBTQ community like one time a month, and trying to make sure that these people do have a place where they feel welcome. We have a lot of gay bars here. I mean, Boise it's a very red state, but Boise is very accepting. The little part of Boise
are like downtown. It's my impression about this whole lack of inclusivity within the swing. My initial impression was that it's the same group of people that it's this extreme. I mean, this fucking crazy extreme, tiny subset of the LGBTQ community that feels that anybody who's not interested in them sexually is discriminating against them. It's, instead of just being like, be whatever you are, but that's just not what I'm attracted to.
The majority of people that I know and that I'm involved with are all very like happy pride, like woohoo, celebrate your sexuality, for all, like whatever. Even despite their like political stances, like I've met people who are more like Republican standing and not MAGA, but Republican. They're
different.
And more that they sway that way, but they are still accepting to like women's rights and gay rights and your the pride and whatever. But I also have run into a few. Actually, we just had this conversation today with a guy that we booted out of our Facebook group, and he's a piece of shit, whatever, the local group. He didn't really, anyways, he is like holding these like men's nights where he teaches men how to be alpha males in the lifestyle.
Oh, Jesus.
At a club, at a bar in town is celebrating heterosexual awareness month instead of Pride Month. And Mondays are heterosexual male nights, and they call them beers for breeders.
Is his last name Tate by chance?
Yeah, right.
Dude, it's actually funny because
I'm like, how can you be in the lifestyle and be that? Like I just do not think it's possible. That's what I don't understand.
Oh, I could go on about this all night because I have a friend who's become like one of those, and I take I think Andrew Tate's actually pretty funny. I take him with a shaker. I take everybody with a fucking shaker of salt. But I have a friend who like that's a character that he's putting on, right? He's putting a character on for likes, follows, subscribes, and he fucking gets them. Yeah. But there's a lot of fucking dudes out there that are taking that shit seriously, and it's some scary shit.
Those are my biggest fear. Those men are one of my biggest fears as a
woman. But I think that everything that happens in the world, like that everybody does, is some sort of a reaction to what other things that are happening in society. And I think one of the things that's happened is this like kind of polarization and disdain toward particularly heterosexual men. And I think like these men are feeling like they have no other option but to act like fucking idiots. And so they're doing it. And it's like
well, I think they're threatened, right? I think they're threatened. So they have to.
So they're very threatened. I mean, Eric has seen it firsthand now, having a woman in the lifestyle who has dealt with this and ran a business. And he has seen the shit that women have dealt with. And he sees the messages that I get and the things that we're doing. And it has opened his eyes. I mean, rich white male, like he's dealt, you know what I mean? Like he grew up with like well-off parents, and like he's stereotypical privilege.
Yeah, fuck you, Eric.
Yeah,
it's hard being an old white guy.
Yeah, I feel so bad.
Guy. But
Eric,
I think when you have,
Eric, I feel so bad for you.
And you love it, like.
Let me just take a minute to feel bad for Eric. He's got a hot ass wife. He's been to like 3 concerts in the last week. He's on his way to Europe, and he's like got like a nice handsome smile and like a billion social media followings. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to join everybody who hates white men just because of Eric.
Yeah, fuck you, man. Come on. Come on, you got to have something wrong with you.
We appreciate you guys so much. And Trey says thank you both. I just can't thank you enough. You guys, you made our week. Thursday's like usually a pretty chill day for us. And Friday, tomorrow night, we play Jackbox. You guys, anytime you're bored, pop on by. You ever want to come in, something you want to plug, just send me a text and we'll pull you right up on screen. You can plug it. We do this, like I said, 5 nights a week.
We're not going to starve you like we did tonight.
That's okay.
Go eat something, Eric.
He's getting angry. That's why he's quiet.
No, you should definitely do it. We love you guys. Good night.
Bye.
You guys are the best.
Thank you so much. How awesome are they?
Very. Well, she's just like you.
Dude, there's so much
She's
in common
just
with
like
them.
you.
They're the nicest
Talk.
Well, we
but
can
you
talk
have a
for
lot.
hours.
There's a lot to unpack there, and it's
Dude, it's fucking 10 o'clock.
and the beauty of it is, like my thing is that they have so much going on that they
they
to take a couple
me.
hours and
Dude, they
come on our
fucking
podcast
inspire me. It was so nice of them. I mean, they're like, you guys, they're real deal creators. Like they've got like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of followers, maybe millions. I don't fucking know, but they are killing it. If you're not already following them, it's the Impulsive Duo. And also Professor Pineapple and Unicorn Landing. Just follow them on all the fucking socials. You can ask more questions. You could support them. You can really just thank them for supporting our podcast by coming on. That's the best way you could do it, would be to engage in their content. And if you're interested in Unicorn Landing, I say give it a whirl. I'm going to actually play with it a little bit this week and share some information about it. We're still not planning to swing anytime soon, but you never know. It could happen. We might just change our mind if we do.
Florida. There are no rules.
There are no rules.
There's nothing.
Cindy says the monkey bar.
Oh,
and she's laughing
Cindy,
her ass
we will
off.
go to the monkey bar anytime.
Melissa
Cindy.
goes to the monkey bar all the time.
Oh, let's do it. It's so much fun.
I just
actually the food there was very good.
Food was fine.
Yeah.
I just haven't been feeling that well. And Cindy says I'm finding one of the I still haven't watched your fucking video or Darcy's.
God damn you.
I had to wake and bake when I fucking woke up this morning. Cindy said I'm finding one of the joys of dreads is we don't need scrunchies anymore. It just stays up. I'm dying to see your hair. I mean, I use spiral locks. If you don't have any, I have a couple extra. I can give you one. Those things are awesome for different hairstyles. They do
like
stay up on their own.
Giant pipe cleaner, basically.
Yeah, but the spiral locks are really cool because you can make different styles. Like I like to do a high pony. It definitely makes your life easier. And then Tracy, of course, had thanked them. I do want to just buzz. I'm gonna fucking buzz Lightyear through our hashtag so we don't get another fucking ding from those assholes.
Well, if you call them assholes, you're probably gonna get dinged, I would think.
No, Elon's too busy for me. Okay, so I'm just gonna run down our hash. Oh, I can just do it on my phone. Derp.
Oh, okay.
And then Trace said, I got one lost in here in this house. Haha. Oh, her spiral lock.
Her spiral lock.
Dude, sorry, I'm getting messages and texts.
And thanks, Cindy, for referring me out for that web job. But it seemed like there was 50 million people on there clamoring for that job. So,
do you even have time at this point?
I don't know. Well, I'll find out in the next day or two.
We have a lot going on, guys.
She says, "Marco me after the podcast. The way I had when I message you isn't the way I wear it normally."
That's really fine. I will try to. I may be like in a coma.
This is how the swinging starts, Cindy.
Oh, yeah, it is how the swinging starts. Well, the thing is, by the time,
Marco people.
By the time we're done with the podcast, we're just so fucking exhausted. And tonight, I'm actually like super hyper because that was like exhilarating for me.
Well, it was great to have that banter. Like
they're great. They're just fucking great. I just like honestly,
and you can learn from everybody.
I genuinely like them.
Yeah,
like
I would have them on just for being from Idaho because I find that fascinating.
But I like Eric's like I had known about his dad and his and his former wife, and I didn't think he was going to bring those things up, and I'm really like grateful that he did, and I would love it. I seriously considered killing myself last year, and thinking about like I'm looking at someone that's actually dealt with that firsthand, and I kind of want to like talk to him about it and be like, so I the next time I'm thinking about offing myself, like I think twice because I know of what it did to him. Because I don't know I know one person that had a child kill themselves and it really fucked them up. But
good. Cindy said it was a small business. I think you like larger contacts, but it's something. Yeah, anything is anything. You never know what's going to connect.
We don't. It was a small business. And I think you prefer larger contracts, but I was like, well, it's something. It's something. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we end up helping them more often than not. We end up giving shit away to fucking small businesses, and they'll refer us business. But like I'm helping Melissa right now. We're helping the church out. But you've got a couple of big projects. It's just going to depend what happens.
Potentially good stuff.
But I told that guy to actually to do it themselves. Matthew says I'm very interested in dreads. Can you do a thing about it tomorrow? Absolutely. Well, tomorrow we're going to do Jackbox. So I'll cover it a little
come
bit.
back tomorrow, Matthew. You're going to love it.
But I have talked about my locks before, but I'm happy to talk about them again. And I will tell you everything you want to know. And then I just want to run down our hashtags.
Hashtag
Woody Harrelson is trending. Yep. I don't know why, but I just love that motherfucker.
Oh, he's the best.
He's been a big supporter of RFK. If you're thinking about the election, I would definitely give him a serious look. I'm not telling anybody how to vote. Of course, Andrew Tate is trending, and I just thought it was funny because we brought about him about tonight. Ruby Rose is trending, but there's a different Ruby Rose, not the hot acid drug chick. We covered it. Yep. Right. And then Tracy says, yeah, I want to talk you to also talk about them. So we'll do that tomorrow at the beginning of the night. May God is trending. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I thought that I'd piss off some Christians tonight. And Hogan is trending. It's actually a Senator Hogan, not Hulk Hogan.
Not Hulk.
I fucking miss
who lives actually. He's got a restaurant up in like St. Peter.
Yeah, we gotta go because he's
Clearwater or somewhere.
He's apparently
I don't know where it is.
Clearwater. He's apparently there all the time. But I miss some good Hulk Hogan antics. Remember when he fucked his best friend's wife, and there was a sex tape, and they sued, and he got all this money, and then his kid killed somebody, then his kid got pulled over for another DUI, and then Hulk shows up on the scene.
That's why you got to stick to the Roddy Pipers and the Macho Man. And
those two people are dead. Nirvana is trending. Apparently, there's a like a yeshiva that tweeted that you couldn't wear a band T-shirt unless you could name at least 5 of their songs.
Oh, I think that's a good idea. Cindy says she wants to talk about Dreads also, and that hopefully she can be here tomorrow. I can't remember what they planned.
No worries. Some people have lives. We are not them. And then, of course, we Harrison Ford is trending because there's a new movie coming out. I guess it's another Indiana Jones, maybe. I don't really fucking know. But Harrison Ford and I have the same birthday.
I remember when I worked at a video store in 1985, we had a copy of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Poon. It was out in the back.
That sounds like a good time. Doors. You're feeling the need to spank your monkey tonight. You might want to check that out.
Indiana Jones. She had the hat and a whip.
Maybe our pineapple friends got everybody all horned up. I don't know. So Professor Pineapple, the Impulsive Duo, Unicorn Landing. Those are our friends from tonight. You want to give them a follow. They were amazing. And then of course our normal shit. Dark humor, ADHD, Weed, Southwest Florida, Swingers, Spirituality, Swingers. We are not. LGBTQ, we love you. ADHD, yeah, we got it. Weed, I'm on it. We're from Massachusetts. We don't live there anymore. Marital hate. Bills Mafia, go Bills, Florida, man. Streaming, marriage, whatever. We're doing this stuff. We love you guys.
Cindy was born in 1985 when I'm working at a porno shop. It wasn't a porno, it was a video shop, but it had the saloon doors in the back room. It's like you don't even remember that, Cindy. You just maybe remember Blockbuster. You don't even remember Blockbuster.
She doesn't even know what a videotape is.
You better love us ADHD. Well,
everybody here's got ADD.
I think the phones made everybody ADHD.
But we had ADD before there was phone.
You know what gave me ADHD was AOL Instant Message.
To everything, like
I can talk to my friends.
Fireflies gave me fucking ADD.
Yeah, or something.
Well, so listen, normally we do what we could have done better in our to-do list, and I would love to do that, but it's already 10:16, so we're just going to do our gratitude tonight. Guys, what are you grateful for? We want to hear about it, and we want to see you tomorrow night, Jackbox. Make sure you support Professor Pineapple, the Impulsive Duo, and Unicorn Landing. Thank you so much to everybody who came. It was a quiet night, but it was okay. Matthew, Nick, and Platty the Pangender Platypus. You guys, just want to remind you, anytime you want to respond to a creator's page, give them a like. A like doesn't do as much. A like basically does nothing. A heart, a laugh, or whatever, or a wow, those actually help them out. I think an angry or sad does not, but definitely heart, laugh, whatever. But thank you for your support. Trace says, I'm so thankful for both of you. I'm thankful for triple cheddar baked broccoli with a cheese sauce. I'm thankful for tomorrow being Friday because I'm plumb exhausted and I'm excited for my bed.
I have questions about this so there's a triple cheddar bake with broccoli in an additional cheese sauce. That would be a 4th kind of cheese. Is that right?
Could be 27 kinds of cheese. You don't fucking know. Cindy says, grateful for the shit I just took. I'm lactose intolerant and just had a huge bowl of ice cream from Daddy does.
Geez.
All right. If you're lactose intolerant, don't eat ice cream.
Yeah, Cindy. What are you doing? What
do you know what you don't want is you don't want Doug to make you a lasagna. What you want is for him to make you some homemade.
Oh yeah, I was going to put cheese in that, but if you're lactose intolerant, I don't want you shitting in my house.
Stop eating lactose. If you're, it's like the conversation I had with fucking Randall and Nicole. Both of you stop fucking talking to each other.
But she loves ice cream.
But we can get you ice cream.
Yeah, I like black chicks too, but you don't see me going out there and enjoying them. Oh no, I love cheese. Yeah, no shit. Everybody loves cheese.
We can get you cheese alternatives or solutions. There's some cheeses that contain less lactose. There are better options. We will help you find them, and Doug will make you some ice cream that won't kill you. I am grateful for all the people that come and support this podcast night after night. I'm super grateful to Candace and Eric for taking time out of their busy schedule.
That was super nice of them.
Tracy, Platty, Randy, Risa, Killing 15, Steven, Tom, Nicole, Cindy, of course.
Heather
Risa was here. Heather was here ever
Stevie.
so briefly, or maybe she stayed all night.
Stevie.
There was people over
Matthew,
on Instagram. We already got Tom. Yeah, and I listen, you guys, Hookah Bob was not feeling well yesterday when I talked to him. So if y'all could keep Hookah Bob and his wife and Mrs. Hookah Bob in your thoughts. He was not feeling so well yesterday. I didn't really talk to him today, but he was not feeling well yesterday. And Anne's not here tonight, so that makes me wonder. Court's not here, which is too bad because she's got some designs on the lifestyle, but maybe she'll watch later. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for all the things we learned. I'm thankful for this fucking fan. It's saving my life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm thankful for concealer because look at this massive zit right there. It's driving me crazy. And I'm thankful for Doug. And I'm thankful that I get to be True Cribbage again today.
Oh, I am thankful for the genius idea that you had to make Sloppy Joe quesadillas. She's curtsying.
You can't really see on camera.
With her skirt that she turned into a dress and just threw this thing.
I think I've worn it 3 days in a row.
So so anyways, it was I made homemade Sloppy Joes. I made the sauce, cut up bell pepper, everything, made it into a quesadilla. It was delicious. And anyways, it was fantastic. I'm thankful for that. Again, thankful for this podcast, everybody that watches it, everybody that requested my song. We have one more day to get requests in before the weekend and hopefully drive that sucker up the charts a little bit. And Cindy is thankful for the amazing baked chicken and baked potato. My hubby, baked potato is so good.
You have a baked potato right now.
It's one of the greatest foods ever.
The best baked potatoes are the fucking ones in the Outback. I wish they made the organic potatoes out.
Oh, Cracker Barrel. They roll them in lard and like salt.
They do it Outback.
Yeah, but it's Australian lard. It's not as good. It's like from sheep.
I don't even know what to say about this
marsupial lard.
It's too late. Do you have any other thankfuls?
I'm not. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for just us not getting the severe floods that other places got.
I'm just thankful for a new day. I'm gonna go inside and I want to tell you I'm gonna watch polos, but I can't guarantee it because I'm so sweaty. I have to wash my fucking face.
Yeah, and Cindy believes that the best baked potatoes are made at home. If they're made with love.
If you roll them in fucking salt and butter,
that's goddamn right. All right, guys. Tomorrow night, Jackbox.
Oh, make sure you request Doug's song, Smiles Like the Sun, on US 41 Radio. Give them a like, share, follow, subscribe, please.
Yes.
And tell them to play
the song. Don't just request a song.
Let us know what you
scoot out.
Let us know what you think of the other songs on the album as well. It's on all of the platforms. And thank you to everybody. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Oh, we never put the pineapple.
I did. I put it
you did.
up there. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. We love you, and we'll see you
tomorrow for Jackbox.
Mañana.